What's up? What's up? All right, y'all. This is a special edition of Hanging with July and Wilk. My dog Wilk can't make it, so I'm gonna hold it down. Basically, we're gonna be talking about. Let's see. Hold on, let me do something. All right, so I'm gonna have my dog James coaching ball on the special podcast today. What's up, my dog?
What's good with it, baby?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Man,
Yeah, we
cool.
just gonna be doing a little couple of things, talking about a couple of things, talking about the NBA playoffs. We also got my cousin Jared Robinson on the stream. What's up, cuz?
What's happening?
What's up? What's up? Waiting on a few other people, but we're gonna jump start it off right quick. Everybody know who y'all are. James Coaching Ball, Jared Robinson. Y'all pretty popular in the sports group. So we're gonna start it off. We're gonna jump right on it. We're gonna talk about the NBA playoffs. I'm gonna start with you, Coach. Hold on, we got another person just joined in. What's up, Cole?
Hey, what's happening?
What's up? What's up? We starting up with a bang. We talking about the NBA playoffs. Uh, I'm gonna let y'all know, Rob. I still owe you an apology. Y'all know who that is? Well, I don't know. But anyway, anyway. So I'm gonna start with you, Coach. What you think about the first round of the playoffs? Like, what surprised you the most? Like, what's something that you gotta talk about?
Man, bruh, it's a whole lot. First, man, this is a great first round of basketball. Man, the everybody talked about how the NBA has fallen off and all that. Man, I don't know what TV you're watching, but we have been privy to some amazing basketball, high level skill, intensity, whatever you can name it. We're gonna leave the Lakers out of this because they was hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave that out of here. My two biggest takeaways is one, hey, Trey Young is that guy. And I owe Trey Young an apology. Last year when I saw Trey Young hoop, I said, man, he's trying to be uh, a Steph Curry. He's trying to be the imitation Steph Curry. He's trying to get his shot. Nah. After actually watching him play basketball this year, he's more Steve Nash than Steph Curry. Last year, if you actually pay attention to basketball, when a guy first gets in the league, they try to see what they could get away with, the flashy passes, what I could do to a defense. He actually figured out exactly what he could and what he couldn't do in less than a year. The way he prods through the lane, but always keeping his eye out looking for a shooter. The way he got that little herky jerky crossover where he could pull up from anywhere. He's a baby Steve Nash. The second biggest takeaway, Luca. He's that guy. He has next. Everything I've been telling people, I've been called crazy for saying he's gonna be a future MVP guy. Hey man, Luca's that dude. If he gets legitimate help, this shit is over with. My third takeaway, nobody's beating the Nets. What they're starting to do now is kind of embarrassing, man. With the display that Kevin Durant put on yesterday, with Giannis on him was just amazing. It was nasty. If you would want to see some offensive basketball at its highest level, that he has put his stamp. He is the greatest scoring forward of all time. It's not close. You could put that shit in the bag. He is one of the top five scorers to ever play in the NBA, and what he did was just nothing shy of amazing. My last takeaway was another guy an apology to. I have to apologize to Kawhi Leonard. We said his knees were shot. We said he couldn't move as much as anymore. No, what it is, he know he has to carry the load both offensively and defensively. He can't rely on Paul George, even though he puts up 20. It's so nonchalant. I was about to make a post about it, but I said wait till I got on the pod. It's so nonchalant. He has no sense of urgency. Paul George just bothers me. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm a Paul George fan, but his game bothers me. What Kawhi did on a defensive end in Game 7 against Luka, and then turned around and did it offensively. Man, that he's a top 5 NBA player. I'm sorry that I doubted the guy. He is still the best two-way basketball player in the NBA. It is what it is. This has been a great first round of basketball, and I just can't wait to see it continue.
All right, Kobe, I want to go. I want to come to you next because I know me and you talked on the phone a little bit about this, about the Phoenix Suns and the Lakers, and especially about Chris Paul. What was your take on that series and the leadership Chris Paul showed?
You already know. I told you, Chris Paul is Michael Bivins, man. He make boys to men. Any team that Chris Paul go to, he automatically make them better than what they was before he got there. That's not my opinion. Any team you look at that Chris Paul went to, they always they always meet or exceed expectations. And I think leadership, people talk about leadership a lot of times, who's great leaders, but a lot of times you look at, well, they won the championship, so whoever the star player must be a great leader, when that might not always be the case. I think sometimes the narrative get lost when because we looking at certain things that is like Chris Paul actually did show a lot of leadership and where he could allow people to like develop what they good at. And he don't put too much pressure on them players to overdo. He always put them in position to do their best at the best things that they do. So I just could appreciate the way that he played ball, and I could appreciate what he's done. And it's like whenever we talk about great players and people making like other players better, I just don't think Chris Paul get the respect. He get some credit for it, but I don't think he get the respect for it like he deserved to.
All right, Jared, I'm gonna come to you next. What series I want to talk about with you? Oh yeah, I want to talk about the game yesterday. I know Coach touched on it a little bit, but I know you like Kevin Durant. Well, I think you like Kevin Durant, but yesterday game showed me. I want to know if you think different. That Giannis is right here and Kevin Durant is up here. Like that's what it looked like to me. Yo, what's your
Look,
thoughts about the game yesterday?
look, man. I love Giannis, and I like what Giannis does, but Giannis has a tendency to play into the defense's hands. If you know you're not a good shooter, that's not something that you should continue to do. Kevin Durant showed you I can score on whoever, however, whenever. I can score in the post. I can score from the perimeter. I can score from the 3 point. I can drive to the basket. I seen this post earlier before I got on here that said 90% of Kevin Durant 3 pointers are contested in the playoffs, and he's still shooting 50%. And they showed yesterday, man, he had the hand in the face from Giannis, and Giannis couldn't do nothing with him. So what I take from this that game yesterday is Giannis is progressing, and but there's a lot of work that he has to do. It's not necessarily that he has to get the shot and he has to be a better shooter because I can appreciate the fact that he'll at least attempt the shot, as opposed to like a Ben Simmons who won't take the shot. But if you know that's not your game, don't let the defense affect how you play your game. Like he dominated Miami by playing his game, man. Like I seen Draymond Green tweet after game one, was like Giannis is the ball handler in the pick and roll. If you're a player that plays downhill and your best game is to run to the basket, you should be handling the ball in the pick and roll. You should be setting the pick and hitting the basket, running to the basket, getting to your spot. And so I think hopefully in game three, that's the biggest adjustment. Play your game, but with Kevin Durant shooting like he's shooting, with Kyrie Irving doing what Kyrie Irving do, it's still gonna be a hard thing for them to match up with.
All right, and we got my dog Mingo. Mingo, you with us? I see you trying to freezing up a little bit. Mingo gone. He must have lost service. Um, but anyway, Coach, I want to come back to you. I want to ask you the same question. Like I said, KD just showing he on a whole different planet than all these other players. What you think about that game yesterday, and do you think that Milwaukee even stand a chance to win 3 games?
Listen here, man. You said that Giannis is right here and KD is right here. Hey, bro. Kevin Durant is so far ahead of Giannis. There's an actual time difference. Yeah, the markets in Asia are open, and where Kevin Durant is, Giannis is just getting out of bed. Hey, bro. Hey, I don't see it. See, we got food, and everybody got food in this whole quote unquote big three era. It was only really two big threes, and it was 2.5 men in Miami. Because let's just be real, Chris Bosh was never truly a big three member. He played his role, so he got a big three. Kevin Love was 2.5 men. He never got he never fulfilled his role as a big three guy. And when you're talking about the first iteration of the Warriors with Steph, Clay, and Draymond, it was 2.5 men. It was Draymond's more tenacity as far as being a defensive player of the years when he cranked up and they became a big three. They really became a big three when you added Durant, Steph, and Clay. That is only the true, real big three. So everybody had in their mind that you got to have three guys. You got to have three guys. But if you're watching anything in the playoffs right now, you need two boy dogs and you need a glue guy. And the thing that is scary about the Nets, people forget Blake Griffin was an MVP candidate. Blake Griffin was an all NBA performer. Blake Griffin has accepted the role of he's diving on the floor for loose balls. He's throwing elbows. He's doing all the things that Montrezl Harrells and Marquise Morris's of the worlds are doing. But now he's single coverage and he can still give you 15 points. Man, he still look like he had a little spring in his step. If you look in with the Clippers, it's two guys and role players. If you look in Phoenix, it's two guys and role players. Right now in Boston, it's the scary thing. It's only two guys right now and role players. James Harden played 39 seconds. In game two, James Harden was on the sideline and they won by 40. Can you imagine what's going to happen when they get a guy that is a true facilitator is going to say, "Hey, KD, get to your spot. Hey, Kyrie, I'm gonna feed you. I got this." Hey, man, they might as well start picking out parade routes right now. Start looking at the size of the rings. You know what I'm saying? Who they want to invite to the after party? Because man, I don't think Boston. I'll be surprised if Milwaukee gets 2 games. I'll be extremely, and it's going to have to be some Giannis hits a couple of big 3-point shots. Drew Holiday is going to have to go for 30. Chris Middleton is going to have to go for 25. And Kevin Durant is going to get in foul trouble. That is the only way I've seen them getting to 2 games here. I could see him squeezing out one because, again, Giannis is still the Giannis. We know that Drew Holiday, when he locks in on the defensive side of the ball, he can cause Kyrie to have a bad shooting night. Not saying he's going to stop him, but he can force him into some tough shots and they might not just fall. But as far as getting into this series, I think that shit is over. That ship has sailed. Crazy
Hey,
part about that.
hold on. I wanted to respond to your big three thing, but I seen my cousin Jacoby. I seen he made a facial expression, so I'm gonna let him go ahead and respond. Any response to that, Jacoby?
It's just that when people talk about big threes, it's like I'm not about to sit here and act like before Chris Bosh went to Miami, he wasn't a top three in his position, or Kevin Love had to change what he did. It's like when people talk about big threes, I think people too fixated on names. So you know people names, so just because you know their names, you're expecting a little bit more out of them. When I don't think like teams are really built like that successfully. I don't think the people that you look at Golden State as like they big players. Like I don't think even Steph in his prime, a lot of people wanted to argue if he was even the best guard in the league, no matter what he had accomplished and stuff like that. So I just look at certain things to where it's like I don't think every team needed like a big three or like had to match a big two. I just think it's like the way the team is ran, and I think that starts from the top down. So that's the only thing I was shaking my head at. Or whatever. I just think some people get caught up in the names and talk about big tools and big threes. Even Golden State didn't start off with a big three. The team was just constructed, and then once they got on, then you started appreciating them to making them a big three. But they didn't add nobody to make them a big three.
See, I got a rebuttal on that. I'm not fixating on the name. You're right. Kevin Love was a dog in Minnesota. He couldn't. But the play that LeBron has, his numbers dropped dramatically when he
Oh
played
yeah.
with LeBron. So that's why I said it's not a big three. Chris Bosh was an all-star. He was a dog in Toronto, but he had to take a backseat role when he got to uh, Miami with LeBron because of the way the style of play, and he accepted that role. Kevin Durant didn't have to take a back seat when he got to Golden State. Clay didn't take a back seat because his numbers only dropped by 2 points a game if you look at it. And Steph didn't take a back seat. That's why I say that is the true big three. That's why everybody was fixated in the three names, but I look at production. And if you look at the Nets, there's James Harden didn't fall off. Kevin Durant didn't fall off. Kyrie Irving didn't fall off. That is what you call a big three. When I say big three, I'm talking about production. I don't care what your name is. I'm talking about certified ball like I like to say, ball dogs. They out there roaming out there. That's what I mean when I say a legit big three. Everybody got, like you say, a lot of people did get fixated by names. Oh man, they got this guy, they got that guy. Man, I ain't worrying about your name. What can you do when you load them up and put them on the court?
And I'm glad you said that, because the thing, even with Golden State, you said nobody took a back seat. That's kind of not true, because even in the playoffs, they went from we go play a completely team basketball where everybody got to touch it to where it's like, man, we go ISO for Durant and everybody, y'all just get in y'all positions. So they did take back seats. It's just that the numbers didn't, like, they took a back seat as far as like being ball dominant. But that's one of the few times where like I feel like it worked together. So that's why I said I'm not knocking what you were saying as far as like big threes. And like I don't want you to get it confused like me saying that they not a big three. I'm just saying it's like when people play together, somebody is gonna have to make a sacrifice if there's only one ball. So even James Harden and Kyrie Irving, what was the conversation that had to be had? I don't know how they go do it with one ball. And what happened? Kyrie Irving said, well, we had a discussion, James, you're going to go be the facilitator. It's a little bit different. It's still organized and structured.
But see, and that's the thing. When Kevin Durant got that, it wasn't that they took a back seat. You just, as a coach and as a player, you got to recognize, hey, I got a 7-foot assassin over there. There's going to be some times where we just going to say, hey, everybody, we got two of the greatest three-point shooters of all time. We going to sit in this spot and we going to let this guy cook. If you get doubled, you know where I'm at. I think that's more of a scheme than saying, hey, we going to take a back seat. That's just recognizing what you have at your disposal.
Let me bring Mingo in this conversation. Mingo, what's your thought on the big three?
Man, my thoughts on the big three is really namesake. Like whenever you're talking about big three, you're talking about, it ain't about if the players can produce. Well, let me rephrase it. It ain't about the players will produce. It's can they produce. Can you take this player and if somebody get hurt, do you still have two players out there who can pretty much take over a game and run a team? If you take any one of these three players, put them on a separate team, and they could be big dog on any of these other teams, then you got a big three. I agree with what Coach was saying.
Hello?
Nobody sacrifice, they adjust.
You know I came over the other night, huh?
It was a big adjustment over than just going and saying somebody sacrificing. Like, you ain't really got to sacrifice. You just adjust your ball game. Like, you know what I'm saying? When we're talking about sacrifice, are you trying to win or are you trying to put up numbers? If it's a scheme that you got going on or whatever, then your scheme go show that you, like, pretty much you that dude, whether you got the ball or not. When it's your time to shine, or you go shine. That's what I feel about the big three as far as scheme wise go. It's like, shit, y'all want to you. I don't agree with Coach whenever he say that LeBron and Bosh and thing wasn't a big three, because they was. Bosh just never got the opportunity to be that dude, but we knew Bosh was that dude from his previous play. He was part of
Coach. I agree with you when you say Kevin Love. There was a 2.5 big three. I agree with you on that. But Chris Bosh, there was a part of it. That was definitely a big three with Bosh, Wayne, and LeBron. But playing with LeBron, like for example, use Kevin Durant. Playing with LeBron, that third person gonna sacrifice. But with Kevin Durant, because like I said in the other podcast, Kevin Durant, the only offensive player ever lived that you could put in any system or he could beat a system. That's why I say he the greatest scorer ever. So putting Kevin Durant with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh wouldn't have had to sacrifice as much as he played with LeBron, because LeBron basically made him into a 3-point shooter.
And that's what I'm saying. He didn't have a chance to highlight. That's we were saying the same thing just from a different side. I'm just gonna give you his and I had this conversation yesterday. In Chris Bosh's last 3 years with Toronto, he was 23-10, 24-10, 21-10. His last 3 years. When he got to Miami, he was 16-8, 16-7, 16-6, 16-6. So that right there, he took a 6 point drop in points per game, and he wasn't even the same rebounder because he was asked to space the floor. So that's why I'm saying, when I'm talking about as a big three, he wasn't given the chance to produce because that's not how the system was derived. So that's why I call it a 2.5 men syndrome. That's what I mean.
Gotcha.
Hey, coach, I will agree though to that. I can call it a 2.5 because I kind of understand the reasoning of the 2.5 because playing with LeBron as opposed to playing with like a Kevin Durant, and I don't want anybody to think this is a comparison when they see you in the group, but it's like Kevin Durant game is so effortless, and the fact that he can score so efficiently for anywhere on the court that you don't have to adjust ever. Like Brooklyn's offense is not the same type of offense Golden State is. So like they asked Draymond Green on TNT one day that he was on there. They was like, "What's the difference between y'all three and this three?" And Draymond Green made a valid point. He said with the three in Golden State, it was based off of we got a system while also having great players at each individual position going through that system. And in Brooklyn, you got three players who individually are filthy, disgusting. Like James Harden was averaging 30+ points his last few years in Houston. Kyrie Irving was a bad man, regardless of what people think about him personally. That's a bad man, and so he was averaging almost 30 points a game this season. He was averaging, I think, at 27, shooting 50, 40, 90 splits. And then Kevin Durant, we already know what Kevin Durant can do. Their scoring titles are indication of what Kevin Durant can do and doing it so efficiently. So I think seeing that big three as opposed to other big threes, and that's why I think people who try to construct these super teams now, it doesn't really work unless everybody can fall into those roles. So I think Chris Bosh knew, hey, I'm going to Miami. I know what I do in Toronto, but playing with LeBron, I can't be that type of player. That's not the type of
Right.
player that works with LeBron, and that's the Pat Riley effect. He learned what works for LeBron. He learned LeBron can be the ball handler, and we need shooters. So Chris Bosh, can you hit the 3-pointer? Cool. If you can hit the 3-pointer, then you still part of our big three. Dwayne Wade, can you still hit the mid range? Cool. If you can hit that, then we're gonna put shooters everywhere else on the floor. We're gonna get Shane Battier. We're gonna get Mike Miller. We're gonna get anybody who can shoot the ball. We want them on their team. And so I think I get the whole 2.5, especially with Kevin Love. Kevin Love had to take a drastic downfall. He became a spot up shooter to the point that once LeBron James was gone, man, he don't even know what to do with his game no more.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, Jay. Even with that, I ain't gonna lie. The biggest thing that happened the LeBron legacy was Pat Riley. I ain't taking nothing away from Brian, but the best thing that ever happened to his legacy was joining up with Pat Riley.
Hey, Riley figured it out, man. That man used his head. He was like, you know what? I see what LeBron James is doing in Cleveland. Okay, so he's coming here. What works? What doesn't work? And so they seen how 2011 turned out. They're like, oh man, that's not gonna work. So look at all the people that they brought in every year. Every year, man, we need some new shooters. So we're gonna bring in some new shooters. We're gonna see what works. And if somebody 3-point shoot dropped down the year before, cool. Can we get another 3-point shooter who can hit it? And it worked for them. They got 2 titles, back-to-back titles out of it. So I mean, and you went to Cleveland and you went to Los Angeles, and they kind of had different variations of it, but they was like, you know what, LeBron James gonna be the facilitator. We gonna get people around him that can make shots. Even if they're not 3-point shooters, they got to make shots.
Hey, I want to start with you on the next topic, Mingo. I want to start with you with this one. Atlanta and Philadelphia. Now, the first game, I think Atlanta had them up by over 20. But Philadelphia ended up, coming back a little bit, and by the end of the game, Atlanta ended up winning by 4. Do you think Atlanta could possibly win that series?
Man. Whew. That's a big stretch, bro. Like Atlanta can win the series because my dog hurt. If my dog wasn't hurt, I feel like it wouldn't even be no contest. Dude is the next, like, dude to me is like the best the best center we've been seeing since Hakeem is Embiid.
Shaq.
And since, you know what I'm saying,
Whoa,
Embiid,
Shaq
you
didn't
know,
play in the league?
nah. Look, hey, look, let me tell you, I'm not even debating best center ever. I'm saying that Embiid mirrors Elijah Wine. And Elijah Wine was a dog. So we're going to leave that at that. But I'm saying, you know, man, they got a chance at, you know what I'm saying, pulling the series out, but that's only because of injuries. Atlanta can win the series, but that's strictly based off injuries. I feel like if Embiid was hurt, like the series would have been no contest.
I feel like the NBA needs Philly to win the series to play Brooklyn in the next round because I honestly don't think Atlanta. I think Atlanta will get swept against Brooklyn. So I think the NBA needs Philly to beat Atlanta to play Brooklyn. But I'm gonna go to you next, Jared.
Uh, me and Kobe was talking about this the other day. I like what Trey Young's doing. I like what Atlanta's doing as a whole. I think they have built around Trey Young very well. However, Philadelphia, in my personal opinion, Embiid or not, they're too sketchy. And I don't want to call them overrated because they've been good the last couple of years. So I think it's a slight stretch to call them overrated. But the problem is you got a player like Ben Simmons, who everybody keeps praising as a defender one week, and then the next week, man, he's the assist guy. Man, you know, he's so important to this team. Not really. It's like, can you not find a traditional point guard that can give you 7 assists a game? Because there's several in the NBA currently that can give you 7 assists a game, and all of them can probably shoot better. In fact, that boy, whatever his name is for Denver, that's playing point with Jamal Murray out, he's
Campazzo.
assisting the ball. Yeah, Capazzo, he's assisting the ball very well. Lonzo Ball assists the ball very well. We
Oh
go
my
back to
God.
players. We go
Oh,
back to players that's not in the league currently. Kendall
oh,
Marshall was assisting the ball well when he was in the league. So you can always find an assist guy. The problem with Ben Simmons and Philly overall, and you see in this game is, okay, Ben Simmons is starting point guard. That means you probably go either start or see a lot of time on Trey Young. Where's the defense doing against Trey Young? And he only gave you what, 7 points in that game the other night? It's like, okay, so what are you doing for me? And then in that game that they lost to Washington, Ben Simmons gave me power forward numbers. As in he gave me 14 and 10, but they lost. But you the starting point guard. You only gave me 3 assists that game. I don't need you to give me power forward numbers if you're my starting point guard. I need you to give me point guard numbers. I need you to hit free throws. They literally won that game by hacking Ben Simmons. Like they got themselves in the game and took the lead by hacking Ben Simmons. You can't have your starting point guard be that much of a liability. And I disagree with Doc Rivers by saying, "Oh man, y'all don't know basketball. We got to take them out." Yes, no, take them out until you under 2 minutes. Because after when they got under 2 minutes, they avoided giving Ben Simmons the ball just so they wouldn't foul him. And then he ended up getting the ball for like a lob or something or a putback, and Russell Westbrook fouled him and he missed free throws. It's like he's too much of a liability to be your starting point guard. If he's the forward, you can kind of hide him in certain things so other people can facilitate the offense. But you can facilitate the offense from the forward position. We've seen Draymond Green, we've seen LeBron James, we've seen plenty of people do it. But Ben Simmons can't be that inconsistent, especially if Embiid is hurt. Embiid played, but if nobody else is doing anything, if your top defender, who's a defensive player of the year candidate, is offering zero resistance to anybody on their court, then what are we doing? Why are we there? And so I don't know what Philly does, and they can definitely lose this series. they can
Coach,
realistically lose this series,
coach, I'm
and
coming to you next, coach.
it's bad.
Did this dude say Kendall Marshall? Like, it's so okay. All right. Anyway, Jason Kidd and Steve Nash are two of the all-time greatest assist guys, and none of them average more than 14 points a game. That's right about what Ben Simmons is. You don't need your point guard to drop hella baskets. See, y'all falling in love with the Treys and the Steph
It's a
Currys and
different
all that.
time. It's a different time.
It ain't
You know,
about
I
different
understand
time,
that.
man. It ain't about the time. It's about your skill level. Point blank. Period. He's six
Do you
eight and
trust
one of the
Jason Kidd at
best.
the end of the game with the ball?
How many does he have a championship with having the ball
Yeah,
in
he
his hand at
does.
the end of the game? Oh, all right. I want to make sure about that.
He does have a championship though. So I answered the
That what
question. He does.
that's what I'm saying. I'm so that answers my question. I do trust him with the ball at the end of the game. I'm with you. He has a championship. That's done with that. But here we go. First of all, Philly's biggest problem is they hired Doc Rivers. All right, let's just get it out of the way. If you know your guys is in trouble
Pause, coach. Pause, coach. Pause, coach. You tripping? You tripping?
what has he
Doc
done?
got
What
them
has he
boys
done?
balling, fam.
Were they not the top a top seed last
So
year
you
under Brett
haven't seen
Brown?
development from last year to this year.
Were
You
they a
haven't
top
seen how
seed?
this
Hold
boy
on,
done got Embiid
brother,
to
brother,
step into his role.
brother. Were they not a top seed last year?
They weren't number one, were they?
But the
No, I'm just saying.
gameplay. We
Were they
talking
were
about
they a top
seeding.
three?
I'm talking
No,
about
no,
looking at the
no,
way that the game
no.
being played.
It does. Hey, listen. Embiid is just hurt. We all know
Wow.
Embiid is a dog. Point blank. Period. Doc Rivers has been overrated his whole entire career. In through the entirety of his career, he has one championship with Boston, and everybody thinks he's the greatest coach. That's a whole nother discussion. We'll get back to that later. But
True,
that's the
true.
first
Go ahead.
problem.
My bad. My bad. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. That's the first problem.
Who a coach
Second
that would
thing,
matter then?
I didn't hear you.
Who's a coach that would matter then?
Who would fit?
If like their mistake was hiring Doc Rivers, then at that point, name me a coach in the NBA where like you'd be like, well, that's a legitimate hire. Well, like that makes sense, and you can't put the blame on the players. You can put it on the coach.
I take Mark Jackson all day. I take
I
Mark
said
Jackson
in
hands down.
Facts.
coaching the NBA.
Facts.
Mark, no. Mark Jackson gets a bad rep because he's not a developer of talent. He had a young team. He wasn't good at talent. But as far as his X's and O's, developing a game plan, adjustments. See people confuse coaching. See, coaching is multifaceted. Is what do you do with talent and can you build talent? Not everybody can build talent. Not everybody can take a Steph Curry and turn and put him in a system conducive to let him develop and having a young Clay that couldn't dribble a basketball when he first got in the league and incorporating him and highlighting the skill set and allowing him to develop. But not everybody can take all-star level players and put them in a system conducive to highlighting what they already do well. But that's a whole another situation. All right.
I'm not
Ben,
disrespecting Mark Jackson, but you just said Doc Rivers got one championship and he
uh-huh.
overrated.
Yeah,
How
I
many
do.
successful coaching teams has Mark Jackson had for me to be like, well, he would be like a legitimate answer? That like I could see why if he went to Philly, their whole team would change.
Didn't
So
Mark Jackson
we
take
could
a
say
30
Doc
win
Rivers
Golden State?
overrated for that one championship, but we'll overrate Mark Jackson. But like
Mark
he built the
Mark
team that Steve Kerr won the championship with.
Oh, exactly my point. Mark Jackson took a 31 team and made it a 51 team, and they got better every year. Steve Kerr ended up reaping the benefits. Let's not act like Mark Jackson was a 20, 30 win ball coach. Let's not act like that now. He the one who
But did he
originally
rip the
called.
benefits? He
No,
changed the
he
whole
did.
lineup.
No. But again, that
I
was
didn't
his.
act like
Again,
anything but like say
coaching
that he
is
didn't win
is,
the
is your
championship. He had a couple of years of developing talent.
okay, and
Wait.
they
Hold on. Outside from coaching, like Doc Rivers aside, you started this all by saying Ben Simmons only needs 14 points. He got other point guards who average
Yeah.
14.
I'm
He
saying we,
don't
we
need to
got too
score.
far down we got too far down the rabbit hole. Ben Simmons does what he's asked to do. He's gonna guard your best player, a perimeter player. He's gonna run the offense. He's gonna get people set up in the offense. Let me say it like that, and he's gonna run it efficiently. His job is not to score the basketball. His job is to catch lobs, help on the defensive side, get rebounds, putbacks, little things like that. This team it just wasn't. It was constructed around role players, and my guy, the best power forward in basketball, as someone told me, is not doing his job as he was supposed to be doing as a superstar. None of that matters in this series. Going back to Doc Rivers, why is Trey Young allowed to do whatever he wants on the basketball court? Why they not shooting doubles at him? Why they not trapping him when he's coming off screens? All of those things are allowing Trey Young to get
How
in
that
the
work for the Knicks?
huh?
The Knicks did that too. How that work for the Knicks?
Exactly. They didn't trap. They allowed Trey Young
no,
to
they
do
trapped.
exactly
They
what.
doubled.
No. They trapped in game 4, and I think a little bit in game 5. But in the first 2 games, Trey Young did exactly what he wanted to. He got to every spot he wanted to, and he got their faces knocked off. So why
let me
not
ask you
change
this.
the defensive game plan?
Let me ask
That's
you
the
this
biggest problem
about.
here.
Let me ask you this about Ben Simmons, because
Okay.
Ben Simmons was being questioned before Doc Rivers got there.
Okay.
Ben Simmons, and we had health initially was Ben Simmons' question, and then he got a chance to play. Ben Simmons is tasked to guard your best perimeter player.
Okay.
That wasn't effective in this game, in the last game. I don't know who he guarded, but he stopped nothing. That's first of all.
So you're gonna get mad because he got cooked by one of the best young players in the league?
Hold on. Second of all, we've seen too many times in the regular season before this season. So we've seen the previous season that Ben Simmons becomes, and to the point that Kobe made, do you trust, Jason Kidd to have the ball at the end of the game? If you're my starting point guard, you can only score 14 points. That's fine. But if I cannot trust you to have the ball in your hand to make a play that is going to, because like I said, in that Washington series, they literally won that game by hacking Ben Simmons to the point where Doc Rivers doesn't want to take him out, but you keep him in the game and they can hack him so you can't put the ball in his hand, and so they get under 2 minutes, and they are giving Ben Simmons. That's on Ben Simmons.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The NBA rule states you can intentionally hack someone after the 2-minute mark. So if you're up at this point, they were up by a point, correct? Philly was up. So why, as a coach, if I know they're about to employ a hacker Simmons and I am up, why not take him out for 1 minute and 37 seconds and then reinsert him into the game?
Okay, so
where a foul away from the ball. Well, a foul away from the ball would result in a shot and possession.
Okay,
That's
so
coaching.
then we go under the 2 minutes when Ben Simmons was still in the game, and they had to avoid giving him the ball because they know that if he has the ball in his hand, they can foul him. So what happens at the end of the game, where they are still able to win this game, Ben Simmons gets a lob or a putback or whatever it was, and he gets fouled by Russell Westbrook on the dunk because they avoid giving him the ball that whole possession because of that reason. And then he goes to the free throw line and misses the free throws. That's on Ben Simmons. Simmons is not the fact that you can't shoot. It's the fact that you're such a bad shooter that you refuse to take the shot. Draymond Green is not a good shooter. He's going to take the shot. Giannis is not a good shooter. He's going to take the shot.
Continuously missing shots. How does that help your team continuously taking shots that you're not going to make?
Well, what you say?
No. That I didn't say continuously taking the shot because Draymond Green has not hurt the team.
Yes, he does. Draymond Green cost his team a playoff spot because he airballed a floater.
He didn't airball.
That is the definition of hurting your team. That is the definition of it.
Draymond Green also got 3 championships.
And he was never the lead dog in any of those championships.
And all his numbers, and he was also their lead defender, though. So you're talking about
and Ben Simmons is their lead defender.
And how does that work out for him? Because
he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year.
No, he won't. Let's be clear about that.
Who's going to be the Defensive Player of the Year? Who's going to win the Defensive Player of the Year?
In fact, I can almost guarantee that not only is Rudy Gobert probably going to win it, Draymond Green probably going to finish and hit it.
Have you seen the analytics behind what Ben Simmons does defensively? I want you to go look at the NBA analytics.
Analytics are an arbitrary thing.
Wait, hold on, wait. So y'all don't believe in math? So you're telling me you don't believe in math? Because I say analytics. Y'all don't
I
believe in
believe
math?
I believe in math, but I also understand that you can manipulate math
No, you
and
can't. No, you
numbers to
can't.
make them
No, you
believe
can't.
what
Oh
you
my.
want them to
No, you
believe.
can't.
So
No,
no
you
matter
can't.
who you
How
think is
can
the
you do?
greatest, I can find some kind of
Hey,
statistic
How
to
can
tell
you?
you how
How
I see
can
the
you
best.
manipulate 1+1? How can you manipulate 3 divided by 4? I just
hey,
want to
so
know.
hold on. Hey,
So I
hold
want to
on, y'all.
know.
We're
Hold on.
not, but we're not manipulating 1+1. So
Yes,
the
you
math
are.
that you're
Because
talking about isn't
hold
as
on, hold on.
simple
we're
No,
as
no.
manipulating
Just
one
say
math.
you
block,
don't.
one
Hold on,
steal
hold
means
on,
that
hold on.
you're the
Say
defensive
no,
player
no,
of the
no, no.
year average.
Just say you don't understand defensive analytics
Wait,
because I can give you a stat right.
Let me ask
Hold
you.
on, brother.
Let
Hold
me
on.
ask
I'm
you something.
talking. Just say you don't understand defensive analytics because defensive win share takes away, looks at points, rebounds, assists that you were scored on, points,
Mm-hmm.
rebounds, and assists that you gave, and the time that your matchup had when you weren't guarding them. That's not playing with numbers. That actually shows production when you guard someone and production when someone else guards someone, and y'all combine those numbers and you find the average. How do you manipulate that?
Let
If
me
I
let me ask you a
score
Hey,
question.
4
Let me
buckets
hey,
ask you a
on you
question.
when I
Because if
had
hey,
you
to,
hold
want to
on,
tell me who
Hey,
you
go
think
ahead.
was the
hold
best
on,
defensive
Go ahead,
player,
Kenny.
if you
hold
tell me who
on.
you think was the best defensive player of all time, every year that they were in the league, I bet you can't statistically find that they were number one. Every year that you thought that they were the best defender in the league, no matter who you think was the best defender of all time, if you look at the numbers, I bet they won't be number one of all time. Somebody else
brother,
might
what are
have
you
better numbers
talking
in that
about?
year, and then you can say, well, that's because, but it's still not as simple as 1+1. I get what you're saying, but it's not really like that, bro.
It
Hey,
really is.
hold
It's
on.
that
Hey,
simple.
hold on. Hey,
Go
Karl
ahead.
Malone has the
Go
second
ahead.
most points of all time. That's easy math to say that he's the second greatest scorer of all time. But do you really believe Karl Malone is the second greatest of all time because the numbers say that he scored the second most points?
Is Kareem
hey,
Abdul-Jabbar the greatest scorer of all time because he has the most points in NBA history? Yes. I mean, that's kind of simple math, guy.
So you sticking with that though? You stand on Kareem as the greatest scorer of all time. You stand on that, right?
Yes. Yes, I stand
Okay, I ain't
firmly
gonna
on
argue
it.
with you then. If that's how you believe it, I can't argue with you. I'm not even about to because I
hey,
think Kareem was a great scorer, so I'm not gonna make no argument against it. But all I gave you was Karl Malone, and you ain't gonna tell me like, yeah, I agree he's the second best. You went straight to Kareem.
No, I'm just saying he's one of the greatest scorers of all time. No matter where you in that top 5, if you're in the top 5 of scoring, you're one of the greatest to ever put the ball in the hole. I mean, there's no other way to put
So you
this,
would have to
bro.
change what you would actually have to change what I said. I said if we're gonna go that math is so simple, how can you argue with math? I said, and that means that Karl Malone is the second greatest scorer of all time. Anything else that you're adding, you're trying to put context into
No,
changing the
no,
narrative. But
I'm
all
not
I said
changing
is we're
anything.
going simply by math. And what you said, Karl Malone's the second greatest scorer of all time because there's the second most points. You have to stand on that
hey,
if you say
Can
everything is
you get?
basic math.
Hey, can you give me a refuting that he's not? And like I say, anytime you talk about a group of anything, we're not gonna just individualize. Let's talk about the group. The top 5 scorer in NBA history from Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, Kareem, and Karl Malone. Do you have anybody in the last 50 years that scored better and more efficiently than them? The
Kevin Durant was a
number
better
wise.
scorer than Karl Malone.
How many scoring
Kevin
titles does
Durant is a
Kevin
better
Durant
scorer than
have?
Karl Malone.
Doesn't Karl Malone have
Huh?
more scoring titles?
Karl Malone has no scoring
Now,
titles.
Does he have? No, he has 2, doesn't he?
well,
No, Karl Malone has
I
no
thought he had
scoring
2.
titles. Karl
Okay, I
Malone has
retract that. I thought he
no.
had 2. I take that
Karl,
back. I thought he
Karl
had
Malone,
2.
Karl
I
Malone has no.
retract that statement. I retracted
Hey,
that. I
but
thought he
look,
had
hey, let me
2.
just get into these comments. My boy Brian Francis, who I used to work with at Home Depot, he says, as a star, you have to want it bad enough to not allow yourself to become a liability. All season is where your game has to evolve. I'm guessing you're talking about Ben Simmons. Do y'all agree with that?
Absolutely.
Then they used
Ben
to call
Simmons said that
Jason
he didn't
Kidd
need to work on the
Ace
jump
Kid.
shot, so of course I agree with that.
Then they used to call
Hey,
Jason Kidd
hey, hey,
Ace Kid
A
because he
player with
had
no
no game.
jumper said he don't have to develop his jump shot. Of course I believe in that statement.
All right.
hey,
Hey,
we talk about that, but Shaq was a liability his whole career, and y'all got him rated. Kenny, you got him as the best center ever. You know,
Thank you,
Shaq
Monday.
you ain't
always
proved
said I
Shaq
missed
Thank
was
free
a
you.
throws when they
liability
counted.
every fourth quarter he ever played. No,
hey,
Wait,
I,
Shaq
that
always said
statement,
that if
Ben
you look at the
Simmons is
numbers
who
when
Ben
they
Simmons
mattered, I
is.
didn't miss free throws.
hold
hey,
on, hold
What?
on. Wait, hold on, hold on.
Hey, what?
Coach
Yes, he
said
did.
that. Wait,
Yes, he
wait,
did. He
hold
just
on,
had COVID.
hold on. Coach
What game
said
can you
that.
think of where Shaq blew the game because he missed free throws?
Wait, hold on. But Coach said that you said
He couldn't blow the game
you
because he had
said
cover.
Wait, hold on. You
What big game can you think of when Shaq missed the free throws that lost them the game?
You know what I'm saying? That's why he couldn't blow the game because he had a cover. You had one of the best shooting guards that ever played the game to cover.
The other four players on the Philadelphia 76ers can shoot free throws, so you cannot use it as an argument. Because if that was the case, then Ben Simmons could have been a liability in the first place. So you can't have it both ways. Like I just said,
I don't consider Ben a liability. They need Ben for what Ben do. Ben is their defensive player.
Ben got sent to the free throw line and kept missing free throws and they lost the lead. He is literally the definition of a liability.
Wait, hold on.
Your biggest
Not only
liability
that,
is
even when I just asked a question about Shaq, you would have to go back and reference like he got cold.
Hold on. You said earlier that Draymond Green literally lost him a spot in the playoffs by airballing a floater or whatever, and you said that's the definition of a liability, but you disagree that Ben Simmons missing free throws that cost them the lead is a liability? Like, you don't agree that that's a liability?
First of all, those words never came out of my mouth. But I said that was on the coach because I can remember Phil Jackson telling Shaq, "Hey, come sit by me in the fourth quarter for a little while. Let's get you out of that trouble." When they first started having Hacker Shaq, he would say, "Hey, come on, Shaq, come sit down." Yeah, I blame the coach because let me tell you something. As a coach,
you don't blame the player that literally said that I don't need to work on my shot.
All right, like I was saying, I blame the coach because if I'm a coach and I know my player is not comfortable in this situation right now, why I'm going to force him to be put at the free throw line multiple times in a minute and 36 seconds? Why would I do that when I can simply take him out, run the offense through another player, or I can put the onus on another player, let me say it like that, to knock down free throws, and then bring him in when he's more comfortable. Because again, Washington had a foul, was at the foul limit at that point. So by playing that game, if I'm still up and you're fouling me, all you got to do is make one, which you did go 50% down the stretch. So you go 1-1, you still keep the lead. We're talking about right now, bro. I'm just telling you right now.
We still blame right now. We still blame the coach.
You said no. You said it's the coach. Ben Simmons was there last year. So what happened last year, or what happened the year before, where in every series that they lost in the playoffs, they targeted Ben Simmons for his lack of ability to shoot. So they left him open, so they was able to double everybody else. And we talk about defensive rating and things like that, and how you can manipulate numbers. Sure.
You talk about that same.
Hold on.
You asked me a question.
The numbers are the numbers regardless. So if the numbers are the numbers regardless, and you tell me you can't manipulate numbers, the Los Angeles Lakers had the number one defense. What did they give them? The Knicks had the best defensive numbers in several categories. None of those categories mattered.
So you're going to use a team that was hurt?
Hold on. You keep telling me this team was hurt? Yeah, okay. They lost bad games in the regular season.
What the hell?
Because him being hurt actually don't matter because the math is so simple.
Oh, man.
We can't.
Hey, bro,
now we got to put in injury.
Can we skip something else, dog? Because right now, you're not even making sense. If you're telling me a whole team that was 20... a whole team that was 22-6 at one point in the season, they were 22-6 in their first 28 games, that was the number one rated defensively efficient team that lost their starting player in LeBron James for 26 games, and then lost Anthony Davis for almost 30 games, and then lose Anthony Davis in a playoff game. If you're gonna say that those numbers don't mean anything because injuries is a excuse, then we're not having the same.
Because they was hurt in the regular season.
Oh, we wasn't talking about the Lakers, so that's why the conversation don't make sense no more.
Wait a minute. He said they were hurt. He said they were hurt. That's why it don't matter. But the Lakers were still the number one defensive team.
The Lakers were hurt, so how can we talk about how great they were defensively if you can't even say that we can count the whole season?
Are you serious? Y'all really? That's your conversation. But hold on, let's go back to this.
They were still number one.
No, they wasn't at number one by the end of the season because LeBron and AD missed a combined 26 games. But let's go back. Let's go back.
You have the caveats. It's not that simple for you. You have the caveats.
You want to let me talk now? Let's go back to
Go
what you were
ahead.
saying about Ben Simmons 2 years ago. When that same Ben Simmons that they target, it took a shot from Kawhi Leonard that bounced on 4 different parts of the rim in the game 7 for them not to get to the NBA Finals. So I think he did
So
a
what
pretty
happened
good
when
job.
so what happened
I
when
think
they
it was a
lost
pretty
to
good job.
Boston and Boston did the same defense?
I think that, but I'm saying you just talked about Ben Simmons. I'm just talking about a situation where it
Okay,
took
so
a great shot.
what happened to Philly when Boston did the same defense?
What do you
Because
mean? They
I
lost
can
because
give
they
you,
lost
I
the
can give
series?
you,
So you're saying
I
that was the
can
lone
give
reason
you,
they lost the
I
series?
can give you multiple examples of them targeting Ben Simmons' lack of jump shot as a way to defend the rest of the team because we could double everybody else, but you're still trying to convince somebody that Ben Simmons the coaching. There's not Ben Simmons being
Wait,
a liability
you
on
got to make
defense.
up your mind. Are you talking about jump shots? Because we talking about free throws. You bouncing all
He
around
can't
here
hit
now.
either. He can't hit either.
Bro,
And both
no,
of them end up
like why
And
you
falling.
look,
making it seem like my brother tripping when he just told you that he was a liability, and when he listed different reasons that he's a liability, you trying to make
because
it
it's
seem like he all over the place.
so it's
No,
because it's
Ben
your
Simmons is
brother
a
and you take it
liability,
up
and if
now.
you want to
It's
go to the fact that it's like
it's
when they're
your
on
brother
offense,
that
they
makes
play
it
4 on
different.
5. The fact
So
that you
because
can't
it's
make
your
play
brother, I'm
defense,
supposed
I
to
am my
adjust
brother's
the
keeper, so
difference.
I have no problem saying that. I'm
Man,
on,
I ain't
but
got
at the
nothing to
same
do
time,
with
like
that.
bro, like Ben Simmons is a liability. He can't
And
shoot
he's
free
still,
throws. They play 4 on 5 on offense. That's not something with like that's because that's my brother. It's like
give
there's
me
actual video
somebody,
footage of that.
a point guard that's 14-8, one of the best defenders in the league, and I'll take you. I'll take
That's
you.
an
Wait,
opinion.
what?
14-8 and the best
That's
defender
not
in
an
the
opinion.
league.
Those
But
are stats. And he's probably going to win defensive
Defense, wait,
MVP. So that's
the
facts,
best
right?
defenseman in the league. He's not gonna win defensive player of the year. What makes him the best defender?
I think he's
The
going to
person
win
that you
defensive
think is
player of the
the
year.
he
I
won't.
think he's
He
going to
won't
win.
win
okay, so
defensive
you
player.
can think that, and
I think he's going to.
that's an opinion based thing, and that's fine. You could believe who you want, and I
I
could believe
do.
who I want, and we might not
I,
agree. That's an opinion. There's no
we
Hey,
won't.
fact on
let me
who's the
ask y'all.
best
Hey, hold
defensive
on.
player
Let
in
me
the
ask
league.
y'all something. Let me ask y'all something. So I seen a couple of things that might be rumors that Dame Lillard, Philadelphia would be a good spot for him. And I'm thinking if we're gonna lose Dame, I'm thinking losing for Ben Simmons. That's my opinion. If we're gonna lose Dame, losing for Ben Simmons, don't give him to whatever the Lakers trying to give us or whatever. If we're gonna lose Dame, we're gonna lose it for Ben Simmons. And I think Ben Simmons, even though that y'all saying he a liability, I think he will be a tremendous help for us. Whether if we lose Dame, I think we still a playoff team with Ben Simmons running the point guard with Norman Powell and CJ McCollum.
No, you won't because
I
it'll be
agree with
4 and
that. I
5
don't think they're gonna be
basketball.
champions, but I think they're gonna be playoffs.
What's up? What's up,
I
Kobe?
said I think they're gonna be playoffs, but I don't think they're gonna be champions if they got Ben Simmons instead of Dame Lillard, because Dame Lillard had to score 55 just to get y'all in the double overtime and lose.
I mean, when the last time Portland won a championship, though?
Huh?
Bill Walt. When the last time Portland won a championship? I mean,
When like I don't know. I'm not saying don't break it up, but I'm just saying I can't see them being more successful with Ben
no,
Simmons, who doesn't
I'm
have a
saying
championship either.
Dame is one player in the NBA right now that deserves. If he want to trade, I have no problem with Dame asking for a trade. I'm saying if we were to lose Dame, I would rather lose him for Ben Simmons than what the Lakers trying to offer us or whatever. I think
It works for Philly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because he's not a defensive liability. Or he's not an offensive liability for Philly. So it works for Philly.
I think it worked. I think it
works.
worked for us if we able to keep Norman Powell, because Norman Powell a free agent. So I think it will work for us as well, because we'll still have two good scorers on our team with Ben Simmons running the point guard. But I think
they need a better bench. Portland, they need a better bench, but they don't. I don't think they out the playoffs with Ben Simmons because he does play defense. Is he a defense player? Yeah, no. But I would put him as a better defender than the backcourt of CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, clearly. But for Philadelphia, it works for Philadelphia because Damian Lillard is not an offensive liability, and he also assists the ball. So I mean, you got to find defense other places.
What you think about that, right quick, Coach?
I honestly think that works for both squads. But if I'm pulling you can't bring the same team back together. You just can't. That just
I
doesn't
agree.
work for you.
I
Like
agree.
you have to, and you have to make a trade was actually worthwhile. So I actually think the Ben Simmons, you got to throw in a couple of pieces. You might have to throw in a little Curry in that thing just to kind of sweeten the deal as far as what Portland is looking for. Because again, you're giving away Dame. That's a hell of an asset. I don't care who you are, what team you go to. Dame is one of the 5, 7 guys in the league that you just want on your basketball team from talent to heart. Like you got that you got to want that guy on your team. I mean, that's a no brainer. So you probably got to sweeten the pot with throwing in Ben Simmons or Seth Curry, a couple of draft picks. But I think it does make sense. Uh, my whole thing would be if I'm gonna move Dame, bro, it got to be worthwhile. I gotta say, Ben Simmons comes to mind. There's not really much else around the league because again, if it's not Anthony Davis, which I don't think the Lakers are gonna move that, there's no team in the East that you could say like Julius Randle. You're not really getting nothing back for him. Uh, I heard the Dallas talk, pairing him up with Luca. What the fuck they gonna get Porzingis back? I don't think Porzingis can make the WNBA roster right about now. So I mean, that actually probably makes the most logical sense. And it would be nice to see a pick and roll with Embiid and Dame where you really have to pick your poison.
Hey, before y'all have to go back to work, Jared and Jacoby, I'm just gonna go down the line. Top 5 best boxers ever. Y'all ever seen top 5 best boxers ever? I'm gonna start with you, Jacoby.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. That could be my 5.
All right, Jared.
Look,
Hey,
Floyd. I got Floyd because of what I like. I got Floyd. I got Sugar Ray Leonard. I got Pernell Whitaker. I got Muhammad Ali for reasons beyond boxing and stuff like that out of respect. And the last person I'm gonna say, I don't know, man. I got 4, bro.
All right,
You
Jared.
can
Who you
switch
got,
out too
Jared?
many. It's too many people I can think of.
I'll take those 4, but I'll probably change Wilkins for Tyson, man. I like seeing Tyson highlights, man. I know he may not have been the best technical or whatever people might feel, but boy, he hit you with that hook and it's over with. So body shot, head shot, didn't matter, man. You get that hook from Tyson, and the fact that this is an old man, man. You see him in these workout videos, that man is still quick. I mean, not like young boxer quick or nothing like that, but the fact that you still got some power to some of them punches, at the all Tyson done did and went through and everything. Like I appreciate Tyson, man, but of course Mayweather up there, Ali. I like Sugar Ray, man. It's like so. I don't really have 5 either. I don't watch enough boxing, but yeah, nah, I like Tyson in that group though.
Who you got, Coach?
I don't have Tyson in my top 10. I'm gonna keep it real. But number 1, I got Muhammad Ali. Pound for pound, skill wise, hey, there's nothing he couldn't do. Number 2, Floyd Mayweather. Shit speaks for itself. Number 3, I got Sugar Ray, 5 division champion. He was the first boxer to make $100 million, and in an era with Duran, Marvin Hagler, Hitman Tommy Hearns, he was still the fight of the decade in the '80s. So that right there put a lot of weight. Man, number 4, I had to go Roy Jones Jr. Like as far as for what you see, as far as for like boxing, with the when he was in his prime, hey man, you was catching them hands. Point blank period, didn't matter who you was, what you did, how your defense came. Roy Jones was that dude. Um, you told me 7, so I went with Marvin Hagler. Was one of the best I've ever seen. Bernard Hopkins, the executioner, I had him up there. And the guy that nobody gets credit to and I always show love to was George Foreman. His first professional fight was in 1973. His last professional fight was in 1999. He won the heavyweight title at 40. He was 76-5 and 68 knockouts. And his back only touched the canvas one time against Ali. That right there. I always had to show my guy.
I can
Hey,
appreciate the
Coach.
George Foreman,
And
man.
he made $1 billion off of grills. What up?
Hey, Coach. I ain't gonna lie to you. You had two people in your list where I was like, I felt bad for not even mentioning them. What you said, Roy Jones said. Roy Jones changed the game to me. You heard
Yeah,
me?
boy. Roy
Like
was
as
that
far as
dude.
what he did, the arrogance, the way he'll be in the, you heard me? Like he did that,
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
and was active.
the
Hell
saddest
yeah.
day in my boxing, when I used to watch boxing, the saddest day in history in boxing was when that Antonio Tarver and Roy Jones second fight. That
Yo.
was a sad day. That was a sad day for me. That was a sad day for me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That was a
Slept
sad
my dog.
day. Hey, but for this last part of the podcast, I'm just gonna be talking about something that's our second annual Sports Debaters Award show that we're gonna have. I know y'all about to go back to work, but I'm about to just talk about that for a little while. I don't know if you want to stay on and talk about it with me, Coach, because I know you felt like you got robbed last year.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna stick around. See, that's a good thing about being a teacher. I'm off during the summer, baby, so we can chop it up all day.
All
You
right.
got time now, huh?
I got
Well,
time, baby.
Nicole, I don't know if you know. I don't know if you watched the show. If you know, but Jared, he actually was on the All Debate first team last year when we did it. So yeah, cuz held it down for you. just let you know, cuz held it down. But this year, what I'm gonna be doing is, we're gonna have additional teams because we're gonna have an all Kobe team, as in Kobe Bryant, the people who go hard for Kobe in the group the most, all Kobe team. Jared, you most likely be on that team, Jared. Just to let you know, we're gonna have an all LeBron team, people that go hard for LeBron. We're gonna really have to pipe down and see who on that team, and then we're gonna have an all MJ team, Jordan, because people be going hard for Jordan too. So we're gonna have that. Of course, we're gonna have the all debate first, second, and third team. We're gonna have the all podcast team. That's me and Wilk. We're gonna put our heads together. We're gonna talk about the people who we enjoyed having on the all podcast team. Coach, you probably make that team. I'm gonna be real with you. Uh, we're gonna have an all troll team because they got a lot of people who troll in the group that make dumb statements. but
And
but
stand on them.
the thing is, sometimes they be trolling, but sometimes they be for real. But we think they be trolling because the post be so dumb. So we're gonna have that. Uh, we're gonna have random giveaways. Like I talked to my connect. I'm seeing if you're gonna work with me. We're gonna have hat giveaways. I probably do a jersey giveaway. We're gonna have things like that. And the thing is gonna be hosted by me, Sal. Jeremy never said it's gonna be hosted by me, Sal, Nelson, and Wilk. And we're gonna do it sometime after the NBA Finals.
Right.
So we're gonna be giving people the opportunity to
So that means that she did.
to be that male debater of the year, to be the female debater of the year,
a letter
uh,
and she didn't
to be the troll of the year. What else they have? The fate, like I said, we're gonna have an all podcast team. That's gonna be fire.
Right.
We're just gonna be doing a lot of fun things with it, just to keep people, interactive.
Right.
It's about having fun. That's our main goal, is to have fun.
She never responded, and
Let me mute my cousin, man. But yeah, you got anything to add to that, Coach?
Nah, man, it's been a great experience, man. Like to see the brand grow, man, it's a beautiful thing, man. You and Will been doing it. Now we into the live podcast, man. Y'all really, really been holding it down, bro. Man, it's a beautiful thing to watch. You got about 3,000 members now.
Yeah, we got over 3,000.
Man, that's major, man. Like I said, this shit is homegrown, bro. Like it's a beautiful thing to see, bro. Like I said, we've been knowing each other since elementary days, man. So we go back a minute, man. It's just great to be a part of something that I'm saying again that you can call your own. A lot of like-minded guys in this group, like I said, got a lot of motherfuckers that's on planet Mars with this shit, but. It all makes it go well. I just need to know the dress code when I'm accepting my awards. Like, do I get suited and booted or like it's casual? I mean, it's good. Whatever.
Hey, but in the group, believe it or not, we do have a lot of former college athletes. I know we got a UFC fighter in the group.
Yeah.
I know Jazz Coleman, his brother Harry Coleman, who actually played for LSU. I want to try to interview him to get his
Mad
experience,
time.
blah blah blah.
Mad time.
Uh, I don't
Hey,
know if I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get Kwame Brown because he did come comment on the
Look,
last
when you go get
podcast
them super, when you
that
go get them super 350s,
he
let me get
getting
the other one.
big. Let
You
me,
heard me?
yeah,
I,
Kwame Brown he getting kind of big, but I was trying to get him because I just want to know how it feels to play in the NBA.
right. Hey man, let me tell
Uh,
you
Kenny,
something
look, I'm back
about
at
your
work. I'm gonna read them comments. I'm gonna get at y'all later. It was nice speaking with you, coach, and all that. We got to do this again. We
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
back.
brother, it's all good. It's all good.
For sure.
Hey,
Appreciate y'all, man.
for sure, Kobe.
man, a funny story you talk about Jazz brother Harry. Till today, that is still the hardest I've ever been hit. My sophomore year, we played West St. Mary at Donald Garden Stadium, and I came across the middle for a slant. This is the first time I'd ever heard of a high school player playing starting at wide receiver and also starting at linebacker. Most people play receiver and corner, receiver and safety. This motherfucker was playing receiver and outside linebacker. Came across the middle for a slant. I'm still looking for my mouthpiece till this day.
Oh yeah, and I also want to talk to Donovan the Grayson. He played at LSU too. His brother Eddie Lacy actually played in the NFL. He played at Alabama. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure you know that. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a whole lot of things I'm trying. Me and Will trying to do. But yeah, we definitely gonna keep in touch, Coach. Cause like I said, I'm gonna try to do a podcast like twice a week. Cause my homie Mike Jones in the group, he said I need to start putting out more content. And yeah, that's what we're about to start doing. But yeah, nice to have you on the podcast, Coach. Man, any last words to say?
Man, it's all love, bro. Like I said, I'm off this summer. Whatever you need, I'm more than willing to help, bro. Again, man, I'm waiting for this second round of games, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be interesting. And again, we just might as well start getting our Nets merchandise ready because it looks like it's gonna be a fucking slaughter all the way to. It's gonna be a bloodbath until they raise the Larry O'Brien trophy.
Yeah, I picked the Knicks in 7 against the Bucks, but I'm kind of regretting that. I should have
You
said
went
4.
seven. You
I
went
was
seven. Hey, now let me ask you this before we get off. Does this change Durant's legacy?
as in, let's see, if Durant get 3 and have 3 Finals MVPs, only a handful full of people got 3 Finals MVPs. Let's see, LeBron got 4, Magic got 3, Shaq got 3, Jordan got 6. I think that's it.
There's only one. I think there's only one more. I think it's Bird.
No,
I
Bird
think
got 2.
Bird got two. Yep. So it's
Bird got 2.
been only four that got the
Yeah,
three. Damn. Hold on. What about Bill?
they didn't have them back then.
Okay. All
They,
right.
they, didn't,
So
they didn't have them back then. They didn't have them back then.
but see, that's when it's. I knew it was only four or five. I didn't do the research on it. I think it's only four or five to ever win three Finals MVP. That's why I brought that up. If he gets the Finals MVP, he's gonna only be one of five people to ever win three Finals MVPs.
See, right now I got Durant at 11 or 12 right now as in greatest because I could tell you my top 10 off my head. Like I got LeBron 1, I
Oh
got
God.
MJ 2, I got Kareem 3, I got Magic 4, I got Wilt 5, I got Russell 6, I got Kobe and Shaq 7 and 8, whatever you want to do with that 7 and 8. I got Tim Duncan 9, I got Bird 10, then I got Hakeem 11, and then I got Durant 12. So if Durant will win another one, I would put him ahead of Bird.
God damn, man, how you got Bird so far down the list?
Man, it's just they had so many great players, bro. Like
And he cooked them all.
it's like
He cooked half the list. See now my list a little different. I got MJ number one. I think that's just unassailable at this point. I mean,
okay.
every but the fact the stat that kills me the most, we always have the discussion in the group of who's the greatest scorer. We say Durant, we say people forget, John got 10 scoring titles. He got
Yeah,
10 of them bitches. He is the all-time leading scorer in points per game. So it's like we got to stop having that discussion. But I got MJ, I got Magic, I got Braun third. I mean Kareem Abdul-Bird third, LeBron fourth, Bird fifth, Wilt uh and Russell sixth and seventh. I got Kobe eight. I got Shaq ninth. I got Duncan 10th. 11th is why I got Isaiah Thomas. Again, the run that he had at his stature. 12, I got Barkley. 13 is where I got Dream. 14th is Durant. I got him 14 right now.
Hey, and the people. Okay, I wanted to touch on the Jordan thing right quick. We just seen Dame Leonard have 55. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody was going crazy, man. Dame, like everybody on Twitter, blah blah blah. Dame, like so. When I seen that game, I actually went back and would go watch the '86 playoff game, game two, Bulls and the
Boston,
Celtics. I mean, Bull, yeah,
masterful,
yeah. It made me appreciate that game even more.
masterful.
Like Jordan was in the second year. This man had to step to the line at the end of the game and hit 2 free throws to send it into overtime. Like this man came in the league and was a killer.
And look, was getting doubled. They was showing on him everything you could think of. Every kind of defense that they had, they was hacking. He would, but people forget when he went 63 that game.
Yeah, 63.
You realize in game one he had 55.
Yeah, he was tied. He was tied by game two because I think game two he had like 20 or something. I mean, by game
Game
three he was
three,
tied.
he had
Yeah, he was
22, I
tied.
think.
Yeah, he was tied. So I'm not gonna knock him, but yeah, like when people say Jordan, he got swept by the Celtics. Like, bro, this man was balling, bro.
Go
Like,
check the box scores.
if you feel like Dame didn't have no help, if you feel like Luka didn't have no help, now you gotta imagine Jordan in those first 3 years.
Can you imagine Jordan's lining up and he's seeing Bird and you got Chief and you got Ollie McHale and you lining up with Bill Winnington.
Hey, and that's the thing. That's the thing that tripped me out. All these people saying, "Man, Luka ain't got no help. Dame, he didn't have enough help. In the past, LeBron didn't have no help. Are they saying LeBron didn't have no help when AD was missing? Man, when you go back and look at that Bulls '80s team before they drafted Pippen and Grant, well, they traded for Pippen in the draft, and Grant traded Oakley for Bill Cartwright. Man, Jordan didn't have nothing. Like
he was getting it out the mud.
Like his best player was a crackhead. Like Orlando,
yeah,
his best teammate was a crackhead. Like, bro, so yeah, when I seen that game by Dame, I went back and watched that game too in Boston because Jordan still is the he averaged the most points in the playoffs too. He averaged 33.
Yeah,
he averaged the most points in the finals. I mean,
so that's why. What 41?
Against the Suns.
Against 41. The Suns, 41. Yeah, that's why I say he's the GOAT. You can look at almost any metric statistic and just go and look at, and Jordan's name is somewhere in the steals. Jordan's name is up there. You know what I'm saying? I still think 1988 was the greatest season that we've ever seen a basketball player had. Dirk had a great season. Kobe had a masterful season. But when you win the MVP, the scoring title, defensive, when you just sweep the award season, it's just kind of like, and you was dunk contest champion, all-star game MVP. If there was a fucking award that season, Jordan had it. I still think that's the greatest season for an athlete in history.
And the thing is, I honestly don't think that was his greatest season. I think the next season was his greatest season. He didn't even win MVP award. Magic Johnson won it. But that season you talking about, he averaged 35, like 6 assists, 5 rebounds. He won all the awards. The next season was basically his points went down to 32 points per game, but he averaged 8 rebounds. He averaged 8 assists.
Yep,
and he averaged almost 3 steals. Now, I think only him and Kobe Bryant, the only 2 players in history that won the scoring title, and they was on the all defensive first team.
Yep,
the only guards. I'm gonna have to really look. Yeah, but yeah, that man was the ultimate 2-way player. Like,
yeah, that's why I have to call him the greatest, man. Like, he is still, like, and you talk about the season after that. You talking about the 90 season, right? But you gotta.
He won the MVP in 87, 88, and then the 88, 89 season. That's the season I'm talking about.
But then that's what I'm saying. Skip forward 2 seasons for the second title when they played Portland, where he went 31, 6-6, but he shot like 52% from the field. Won was the MVP and then won a gold medal on top of it. So it's like, what the hell, bro?
He did my dog Clyde wrong in the finals, bro.
Clyde was never the same after that.
Hey, when I was watching the Last Dance when Magic Johnson was talking about it, when he said Magic when Magic said Jordan went up to him, he said, "Man, you know what I'm about to do to this dude, right?" Hey,
The greatest, man. That's the GOAT to me, man. I just don't think, as far as from the awards, the competitive nature, from just what you saw from the guy. I'm gonna let you go after this, man. The one play that always sticks into my mind. Everybody talk about how they had this unstoppable team. In '98, when Pippen missed half the season with a back issue, he basically had a bad back. He was pretty much left for dead on the side of the road. The Bulls were down 4 with 1:12 left to go in Game 6. Jordan hits 2 free throws, calls a timeout, and he tells Rodman, "Hey, don't front call Malone. They're gonna run that backdoor play that they always run. Don't front him. Make sure you let him back you down." He makes the key steal and then comes down and hits the game winner. All right, there just lets you know the mental aspect, the clutch, the killer genes, the offense and the defense, everything you want, and the leadership on top of that to even predict that series is about to happen. That right there just put the cake.
Hey, but in that series of events, you missed the step because he did hit the 2 free throws. He did hit the 2 free throws, and then Stockton hit a 3. But then he came back. He hurried up and hit a 2 for 1 because he actually hit that layup over. I think that was Olden Polynice. I think where he smoothly hit it off the backboard, and then Utah tried to come back. He made the steal. He made the jump shot. Like, it's crazy. But the reason for the longest I had Jordan as the GOAT, and anybody who knows me, even I think Jeremy Neville would know I had Jordan as the GOAT. The reason I have LeBron as the GOAT right now, and I don't know if it's because of the new kind of supplements or everything, but dude's been in the league for 18 years now.
Right.
So the longevity to me is big. That's big. You can't knock him on longevity. Right. And the fact is, he had the same kind of hype coming out of high school that Jordan had coming out of college. Because Jordan had hype. Because when Jordan came out of college, they was asking if he was going to be the next Dr. J. He definitely surpassed those. he definitely surpassed Dr. J by a mile. LeBron came in as king. The first thing that caught my eye about LeBron, he did take the Cavaliers to the finals at age 22. Was it 22 or 21? 22, I think.
22, I think. Yeah.
He did take them. And then he had to go through the thing with the Miami Heat, which he did it to himself now. All that pressure he put on himself in Miami against Dallas, going through what he went through in Dallas. Because this what I wanted to say to you about Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was actually the second best player in that series against Dallas. he was actually the second best player after D Wade.
I totally agree.
So, and what LeBron had to go through, because that whole year was under pressure. He was under pressure. The camera was on him. And then the next season against Boston, Game 6, when Miami was down 3-2, that Game 6 was probably the most important game in his career against Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. And he came out and he put on a show. Miami ended up winning that game, winning Game 6, winning Game 7 in Miami, and they ended up beating OKC. So what he had to go through to get his first ring was similar to what Jordan had to go through to get his first ring, because Jordan, like Jordan said, he said in his Hall of Fame speech, he was hearing everything, even though they didn't have social media back then, but they still had the newspapers and everything. He was hearing things like scoring champion, can't win championships, that he wasn't as good as Magic, Bird, and Isaiah. So Jordan was going through that same thing. Same with LeBron. He went through that. So he wins 2 championships in Miami. He's creeping up. Then he goes back to Cleveland, which I'm not going to say Golden State was the greatest team all time. The regular season said it was 73-9. It's good. It's great. But there wasn't.
I never go. Yeah, there wasn't.
The 96 Bulls was the greatest team of all time.
Hands down. Followed by the 01 Lakers.
That's another debate. That's another debate. We'll debate that some other time. But yeah, Golden State. The reason why I say Golden State wasn't the greatest team of all time, because Golden State was supposed to lose to OKC in that Western Conference Finals.
I agree.
They were supposed to lose if it wasn't for a KD and Westbrook meltdown, because they melted. It wasn't for a Klay Thompson heroic game 6. That
Correct.
OKC should have beat them boys. Even Harrison Barnes came out and said that OKC was the best team that season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta remember, OKC had made a fool of San Antonio in the second round.
Oh, I remember. They was next. They was next.
Like, San Antonio blew OKC out in the first game in the second round. OKC came out and won the next 4 out of 5. Similar to what Denver did to us this year, but that's another conversation. But yeah, he beat the well, I'm not gonna say he led the team that beat Golden State in the finals.
Right.
So that's three championship rings. So right now I got him at 2 behind Jordan. I got him at 2. And then you go to the reason I put him at 1, he goes to the Lakers. And first of all, Anthony Davis should have been regular season MVP. That's my thoughts. He should have been regular season.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you.
Should have been regular season. But LeBron leads in the finals. LeBron led the Lakers to his 4th championship. He led the Lakers in the championship and gives them the title that they've been long waiting for, even with everything that's been going on with the Los Angeles Lakers, with Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. He brings a championship to the Lakers. And I think with 4 championships and his longevity and all his records he has, that's enough to put LeBron over MJ when it comes to the greatest of all time. Now, it might be a different conversation if MJ wouldn't have retired after the 93 season. And he still was the best player in the league when he retired after the 98 season.
Exactly.
It might be a different conversation, but he did retire.
See, what me and you differ is, and that's what put that 4 titles would put LeBron in my top 5. You see, you talk about that pressure, and then you talk about how Chris Bosh was better than LeBron in a pressure moment. There was nobody better than MJ in those pressure moments. When the lights was the brightest, when the pressure was on, MJ said, "There's not gonna be a game 7. You're not gonna beat me 3 times, let alone 2. You're not gonna beat me 3 times. It's not happening." So is that level that's why I put Jordan above not just LeBron. My favorite basketball player is Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying? I can pull up numbers and everything that can make him that supports he's a top 5 player of all time. But that's a whole nother argument and discussion. But my favorite player is Kobe. But when you just look at the totality of MJ's career, like I say, LeBron's longevity is amazing, it's great. But again, when it came down to those pressure-packed moments, when it came down to a nut-cutting time, Jordan never went stand in the corner and scored 8 points in a game. Jordan ain't never went scoreless in the 4th quarter in the NBA Finals. That just wasn't happening. And when you talking about, we're not talking about good, we talking about the greatest of the great. I need you to have that when it's that pressure pack on. When it's nuts against the wall and you gotta pull it out. MJ, man, that just puts it over the top for me. Those plain pressure situations.
Yeah, everything that you say, like, I love hearing it. But I actually grew up Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. My daddy was a big Bulls fan,
Right,
so
right.
I had the Chicago Bulls bed set. Not the one man Jordan bed set like LeBron got. I had the Chicago Bulls bed set like
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good debate to have between LeBron and Jordan. I mean, but yeah, I just got like it took me long, but yeah, I put LeBron 1 and Kobe Bryant. I'm gonna be honest about Kobe. When it comes to skill, I think Kobe is the most skilled player ever. Like,
I always say that.
Yeah, when it comes to skill, like I have him 7 on the greatest, but when it comes to skill, I think there's nothing on the court Kobe couldn't do. Like
Exactly,
Nothing.
exactly. Like you say, win a scoring title, be first team all defense. From footwork, mid range, free throws, on ball, passing lane, however you want, whatever you ask a basketball player to do, Kobe Bryant not only did it, he excelled at it. You know what I'm saying? He really didn't have a weakness to his game besides just wanting to be take tough shots. That was the only thing. That was the only weakness to Kobe game. And I honestly think from why, like Kobe's my favorite player. When I was coming up, when we was coming up, Kobe was, in that draft class. He was one of the first guys talking about coming out of high school. He was on ESPN, the magazine, and all that. So I kind of followed his career. And my dad was a Laker fan. When he was growing up, Magic Johnson was in college. So Magic Johnson is my dad's favorite player of all time. If you say Jordan, he might want to fight you. So that's his guy. My dad still has VCR tapes of all the Lakers finals. So what I'm saying, that's how I got to see Bird when I was younger, because everything used to come on ABC and it was tape delayed. So the finals might come on while he was at school. So he would tape this shit while he was at school and whatnot. So when he got to the Lakers, I was like, all right, so I'm a Laker fan by proxy, so I got to watch it. And certain things used to come so easy to Kobe. He used to make the game difficult for us. So if he'd beat a defender, see a guy stepping up, so instead of taking it over and just getting to the rack, let me step back for this 18-foot fall away just to see if I still got it. And that shit was crazy. And shout out to Ray, the way he evolved this game, going from dunking on people to actually going to a mid-range game and the back down from MJ. He was a complete student of the game. But I agree with you. He's probably the most skilled player to ever play in the NBA.
Hey, so I just want to talk to you about this right quick.
What you got?
Uh, my dog Will, he let me hear it all the time, and I don't blame him because if the roles were reversed, I would get on him too. Last year after the finals,
Mm-hmm.
I said, and you probably, I think he was on this podcast too. I don't remember. I said last year after the finals, coming into this NBA season, Jimmy Butler was a top 5 player. Last year after the finals, I said that coming into the season, Jimmy Butler was a top 5 player. The reason I said that because I feel like, okay, I'm gonna use LeBron. I'm using LeBron for example. You got guys that saying when LeBron, when he not giving it all during the season or whatever, when he coasting, when other players coasting, it matters what you do in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what Jimmy Butler did in the playoffs last year and in the finals, I said that gave him the right to say that he's a top 5 player. I mean, I was arguing. Somebody had argued me. You don't have Giannis over Jimmy Butler? I was like no. I was like because if we give the playoffs the same respect as we give the regular season,
Mm-hmm.
I think Jimmy Butler is a better player than Giannis. And it come to the playoffs this season. Come to the season in general. Jimmy Butler let me down. he,
Right,
he
right,
let
right.
he let me down. Like it looked like he might be a top 20 player now, but definitely not a top 5 player. So based on this season and what you've seen in the playoffs so far, who would be your top 10 NBA players?
Okay. My top 5 is pretty easy. KD, I think, is the best basketball player on the planet right now. If you can dribble it, he's the best at it. I'm just give it to him. I still rock with LeBron. Saying he was hurt this year, but again, you can't have a top 5 list without him right now. 3, Kawhi Leonard has showed, and by far, I'm still in the conversation. Don't forget about me. I'm here. 4, people say what they want. When healthy, Anthony Davis is one of the best 5 basketball players walking God's green earth when he's healthy. Point blank, period. 5, I give it the slight edge to Embiid. There were some games this year when I watched Embiid and I was just like, that shit just isn't fair. What he's capable to do on a basketball court is unfair. Uh, 6, I go with Giannis. And I take that back. I'm disrespecting my guy. I'm gonna give Curry 5. I'm sorry. I'm disrespecting. I always say he don't get enough love, so I'm gonna go Curry 5. We'll go Embiid 6, Giannis 7, Harden is 8. Whatever you want to say about the guy, he's one of the most talented basketball players in the league. And I have 2 new entrances to the top 10. Luca is the ninth best player in the NBA right now. If you're starting a franchise, there's not 10 guys you would take in front of Luca. I'm sorry, that's just how it feels. Number 10, I gotta give it to the Joker. I had Butler a top 10 player last year. I had him as the 10th best player in the league. But Luka has shown back-to-back years and the Joker, like honestly, if you were an NBA franchise and they tell you you can't take Durant, LeBron, and all those top guys, there's not many names you'll say before Luka. There's not many names you'll say before Joker.
Well, I got KD one as well. I say it all the time. I said it last year when he was hurt. I like the only reason the only reason Giannis winning that MVP is because KD not in the league right now. Like I think KD is the best player in the world. Like even his defense is good. Antonio Brown says great. I say no, it's good. It's not great.
Yeah.
You can't put him in the same conversation with Joel Embiid or even Ben Simmons. Like you can't put him as a great defender. I got KD one. As of now, I had LeBron too, but I think age finally starting to catch up with him.
It's catching up.
I think it's finally starting to catch up with him. So I'm gonna go Kawhi 2. I'm gonna go Harden 3. The reason why I'm gonna go Harden 3, I think Harden is the best point guard in the league. If Harden, like you said earlier, Kyrie told him, hey, I want you to be the facilitator. Mm-hmm. I want you to be the point guard. And Harden, we seen what the Nets doing to the Bucks right now. We seen what they doing. It's basically they doing it because of talent. Because you got I think that guy Shaman hit a couple of threes yesterday. Like they just got talent everywhere. Blake Griffin. Right. But when the Nets are in a close game, when Boston was making their runs, similar to what Chris Paul did with the Suns, where he calmed the team down, facilitated. I think Harden, being the fact that he's a threat scorer, he doesn't have to score, but the fact that he's a threat scorer, like he could be facilitating one series, one possession. The next possession, he could be dribbling. He could just shoot a three, and it'll crush your soul. I think Harden is the best point guard in the league, so I got Harden 3.
I got him second. So
you got him 7. Yeah. I got Harden 3. So I got Durant, Kawhi, Harden. I got Embiid 4. I got LeBron 5th. Now I got Joker 6. The reason.
Wait, you got Joker ahead of Steph?
Yes, bro. Steph is probably the best. He's the best shooter in the league. He's probably the best.
That's not even close.
He's probably the best scorer in the league as well. He probably, I don't know, that is debatable, but he's definitely the best shooter in the league. But yeah, I got Joker, man. Seeing what Joker did to my Blazers in the playoffs, bro, like
surgery.
Like it was just like the first game. I thought we figured him out because he only had 1 assist in the first game. I thought we figured him out. Like, but then he just came back in game 2. The next 4 out of the 5 games, he just came back. You know, the mid range was on point. The 3-point shots was on point. He was even playing a little defense. I mean, I know Nurk is not but he was even playing a little defense. And yeah, the fact that he was scoring 30, he could give you 10 assists, he could give you 8 rebounds. Like
surgery.
I think he's just a whole offensive package.
Yeah, surgery.
I got stuff after Nurk. I mean after Joker. Then I got Dame right after Steph. Because I don't think Dame too far from Steph. Like I got Dame right after Steph.
I think there's a sizable gap, but it's not the biggest gap in the world. It's not the KD to Giannis gap. I'm gonna say that.
Then I got Luka. After Dame. How many that is? Is that 9?
That's 8.
That's 8? Hold on.
Because Joker 6, Steph 7, Luka 8. Oh yeah, I mean Dame 8, Luka 9.
And then I got one more. Whew. Man, AD would usually be in my top 5, bro. But
I understand because of the help. I totally understand. But when he's right, oh my God.
I don't know, bro.
But you
It's
know who
hard.
you left off?
Who?
Giannis.
I left off Giannis.
He didn't even say Giannis's name.
Well, I guess Giannis would be 10, bro. I mean, it's kind of unfair to me how I'm doing Giannis because it's the expectations because he have this great season and a
Mhm.
lot of wins Milwaukee have. He not playing at the end of the game
Right. He
because
could have better numbers.
it's big lead. It's big leads. Not. I'm not saying it because of numbers. It's because they build up a big lead. Because if the game is close, Giannis actually shy away from the ball. Like
And,
Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, Milwaukee go to them first at the end of if the game is close during the season. And I watched a lot of Bucks games this season. When the game is close
right.
during the season, Milwaukee go to Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday at the end of the games. Like they
See,
shy
and
away from Giannis.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I agree with you. And see, and I think that's the problem with when you talk about stars in the NBA. There's no way that Giannis should be handling the ball as much as he is. He is not Kevin Durant. He's not Steph. He's not your traditional superstar. He is a superstar that is reliant on other players, which is nothing's wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with being a superstar that has to rely on a point guard to facilitate what you do. But they try to force the ball in his hand so much. Like you made the point earlier. Why is he the ball handler in the pick and roll situation? He should be the roller in the pick and roll situation. He should be the guy setting the pick. He the one supposed to be crashing. That would actually make him that much more deadly. That would actually allow for his mid-range game to step up because now you know if Giannis is setting the pick and he's rolling to the basket, you have to beat him to the basket because if he's at the same level at you or a step ahead, that's an easy 2 points. So the fact that people would be rolling harder to the basket, he would get an easier look from 12 and 14 feet out where he could actually work on that mid-range game. But again, like you say, by forcing him the ball, that's another reason why they're not going to win this series. Because they're trying to force him to beat Kevin Durant. He's not that guy.
Yeah, they might get swept, bro.
I think so. Man,
Like
when I went in the kitchen, I forgot what I was cooking. I was cooking something for them kids. And when I looked at the screen, Milwaukee was down 9. I was like, ooh, that's not a good sign to say Harden is not playing. By the time I put the rice on and wash and season the food and put the chicken in the oven and came back, the lead at balloon of 17, I said, oh my God. And Giannis was on the court. Drew Holiday was on the court. Chris Middleton was on the court. This wasn't like, when that chain where that second unit comes in to give your starters a blow and the league kind of balloons on you. No, they had their starting group in there, and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving were just committing surgery on these guys. And it's dangerous, dude. That
yeah,
guy is dangerous.
I seen a possession where Kyrie went up for a layup and Giannis blocked it off the glass. And the next possession, Kyrie had him on top of the key, crossed him up, and hit a long two on him. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
and
man.
I didn't see playoff series where the home teams won the first two games. Like I seen playoff series, and you thinking, okay, the next two games, the other team think, okay, the next two games we coming back home. All we gotta do is defend our home court. We're gonna be back in this series. But these two games that Brooklyn beat the Bucks in is like you can't be feeling good at all if you're a Bucks fan. Like you can't be feeling good at all. Like those are two embarrassing losses. Like
And
and and in both games, Brooklyn had to call the dogs off. Like both
yeah,
games.
really.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
see, and my whole thought in this, I thought it was gonna go 6 because I figured the Bucks had the lineup where they could be a little bigger on the front line with paying Lopez and Greek at the same time, kind of building up a wall. Man, that shit didn't work, not even a little bit. And that's the sad part about it. Lopez didn't have a bad game. Chris
Mm-mm.
Middleton had an okay game, but Drew Holiday had a pretty good game. Like there's gonna always be that one game where your stars don't play well, man. I'd hate that. That could be a 50-point loss. That could be a 50-point loss because, man, bro, me and my dad was watching. He came by and I was like, the thing that was making Durant is scary now. The forgotten shot in basketball, the in and out crossover, dribble hard to the baseline, pull up jumper that Kobe perfected. Durant is starting to use that now. drive hard to the baseline, pull up and elevate. He's already 7 feet tall. And there's no, I think he shot that shot 7 times and he didn't touch the rim. Neither of the 7 attempts when he shot. And I was like, if that has become his go-to bucket, man, shit is gonna be trouble. I'm glad the
Hey,
Lakers had the playoffs. I didn't want to see that in the finals.
hey, Quentin. Yeah, like I'm responding to my to Quentin from the group. Yeah, those losses, bro. I don't see how the Bucks could feel good about those losses, but like they will just dominate. Like Brooklyn just, bro. It's like Pat Bev. I think Pat Bev's soul got taken this year. I think I,
Yeah,
I think his soul got taken. Like I don't know if he ever gonna be the same player that he ever was. Like,
not if he ever play Luca again. And as a coach, even when you have a bad game, you like to go to the film and say, "Hey, look, man, this is where we lost the game right here. If we had these couple of plays, if this changes, there's nothing you can learn from game 2." As a coach, when they show you the film, you just say, hey, "Look, man, go bury that in the backyard. Don't let the players see that. Don't let front office see that." There's no, like you said, there's nothing to build on. There's nothing like, "Oh well, look, man, this could have happened if this would have." Nah, they just got, like I said, they didn't play bad. The biggest problem Milwaukee has, though, they have no bench. Where, you know what I'm saying, where well, Brooklyn can stagger their guys, bring Blake off the bench, and DeAndre Johnson ain't even play. So where they can bring uh Blake off the bench on with a second unit of Blake, Kyrie, Joe Harris, while Durant is sitting down and resting. When they go to the second five with the Bucks, and I like DiVincenzo, but that's the only scoring threat you got coming off the bench. Like, talk about it, man. And when you playing against these Nets, man, it could get dangerous real fast.
hey, one player that we didn't talk about in the top 10 that I think eventually will be a top 10 player, uh, Jason Tatum. Milwaukee don't have that Jason Tatum player that could go out
Right,
and give you 50 and match bucket for bucket with Kevin
right.
Durant and Kyrie. They don't have that player. Like Giannis might get you, 30 and 15, from a lot of dunks, a lot of putbacks, but they don't have that player that could just go bucket for bucket with Kyrie and Durant. That's why Tatum was able to get them
Right.
one. But
Because they
yeah,
got that one guy.
I don't see Milwaukee with that player like at all. But
Man,
what don't another series start, huh? Utah and the Clippers start tonight, huh?
you saw the Clips play last night, or is it
No,
tonight?
no, they start tonight. Utah
They
and the
started
Clippers
tonight.
start tonight.
Yeah,
Who you got winning that series?
Clippers.
Why you got the
I,
Clippers?
man, they got the best player in the series. I think Book is
Great
becoming a problem.
explanation.
I think Book is becoming officially that dude, bro.
No,
It
not
took
Booker,
you.
not Booker, not Booker. It's the Clippers. Clippers, Kawhi, Paul
I thought you
George.
said Phoenix.
Oh no, no. Phoenix played last
Yeah,
night. Yeah,
that's why I was saying they played last night. I
no. The
thought you said
Clippers,
Phoenix.
Clippers.
Okay. Ooh, my bad. Clippers. That's
The
quick. I thought you said
Clippers still
Phoenix.
got
I'm
the best
sorry.
player in the series, Kawhi. So
They got the
you
they
don't
got the
see
two
any
best
type of
players.
scenario where Utah winning that series.
If Paul George turns to playoff P and goes ghost and he leaves Kawhi hanging out again, and I'm saying Clippers because again they got the best player in the series, and defensively their best player can cancel out the Utah Jazz's best player. I think if Kawhi sets in his mind that Spider Mitchell is not going to get more than 20 points in a single game, I think he can make that happen. So that's why they have the great equalizer in Kawhi. But if Paul George comes out there and leaves him hanging, it could get interesting.
I mean, my boy Melo was on the OKC Thunder when we played Utah in the series, and it's Melo, Westbrook, and Paul George, and Joe Ingles, bro. He put it on Paul George.
That's what I'm saying.
he
That's why
put
I
it.
say it. If
He put it on Paul George.
That's why I say if
Uh,
Paul George goes missing, it could get interesting.
and my boy Sean from U3 Sports, If y'all not following his podcast, make sure to follow. They was on till like 1 a.m. last night, from like 7 p.m. to 1 a.m. Yeah, they be going hard. But yeah,
Yeah.
he said the Utah Jazz the best team in the playoffs right now. He got to win the championship.
They don't drug test on their podcast. I'm what? Yeah,
Hey,
I think the Utah Jazz is probably the fourth best team in the West right now. Cause I would take the Suns ahead of them. I take the Clippers ahead of them. I take the Nuggets ahead of Utah. That's just me. Now, and again, that's not saying that they suck or anything. I just think that those teams are better equipped than the Utah Jazz. That's just me.
I
They
mean
damn
Utah.
sure ain't better than the Nets. They damn sure ain't better than the Nets.
No. Well, I think if Pat Bev gonna get his confidence back, I think this the series to do it because the Jazz they don't have a Luka to
Exactly.
take. They don't have a Luka, so I think if Pat Bev, who the Clippers coach, Tyronn Lue. Yeah, I think if Lue want to get Pat Bev confidence back because they gonna need him if they plan to get to the finals in the Western Conference Finals. They gonna need
Hell
Pat
yeah.
Bev.
They're
So
gonna have him show up.
if
Because
Tyronn,
again,
I think this the series to get Pat Bev confidence. I think if you want to put Pat Bev on Jordan Clarkson, I don't think Clarkson would give Pat Bev buckets like that.
I don't
Um,
think so either.
yeah, because Clarkson come if you want to put Pat Bev on Donovan Mitchell a couple of possessions. Donovan Mitchell is a great player, but he's no Luca.
Right,
So
right,
yeah,
right.
I think this is a series where because I don't think you have to put you don't even have to put Kawhi on Donovan Mitchell.
See what
Go ahead.
I think that you put Pat Bev on Clarkson, rotating between Clarkson and Conley, and
Hmm.
you let PG match up uh with Spider. You let Kawhi handle Joe Ingles because you know he all he got to do is sit there and you let him go nuts offensively. Let him carry the load offensively. Now shit start getting kind of hectic, you know what I'm saying? Then you make that switch to where you put PG on Ingles and you go ahead on and put Kawhi on Spider. But I would use Pat Bear simply on Clarkson and Conley because Spider not gonna win you a series by himself. He's gonna need to get others involved. But again, we're also saying that like Tyronn Lue's a good coach. You gotta put that in there. He's out here like Doc grasping at straws his damn self. So it is what it is.
What I was gonna say. So, like I said earlier, I think the NBA needs Philly to beat Atlanta. I think they need Philly to beat Atlanta because if we got Atlanta and Brooklyn in the next round, like it's gonna be a slaughter. It's gonna
You
be a
know,
slaughter. Go ahead.
but but on the flip side of that, it's the NBA at the end of the day is gonna get its numbers, and it's all about the changing of the guard right now. If anything we've seen this year, we're starting to see that. Hey man, damn, Father Time catching up with LeBron. Damn, man, AD breaking down. Damn, how much longer CP3 go? Man, Melo, this might be his last run. That old guard is leaving. You know what I'm saying? This the last of the 03, 05, 05 draft. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Those guys are getting out of here. So it might not be a bad spotlight to see the new Trey Young, you know, the new Young and Thug in the Eastern Conference Championship. Because honestly, if you want to be brutally honest, I think the Nets are gonna slaughter anybody. You know, I don't really think it matters.
I
I
think
don't.
Philly could win two. I think Philly could win two.
I think Philly can get one, and B's not healthy. He has a tear in his MCL. That's not going to heal. He's going to have surgery in off season. It just depends on where the tear is. Let me say like he may not have to have surgery depending on where the tear is, but he's not gonna get better. These players. If you watch game one, he didn't play bad. Let me say that right now. He didn't play bad, but he played extremely careful. You even watch some of the spin moves he had. He was planting before he spin. You know, is quick on his feet. He usually get in and out of those spins pretty well, especially when he's going toward the center of the lane for the dunk. He was actually being pretty careful when he was spinning toward the lane. So it's not going to get better. Ben Simmons is not a scoring threat, and Tobias Harris is Tobias Harris. So If the Nets, and this is why I think that it's a foregone conclusion. You alluded to it earlier. KD is not playing bad defense right now.
Mm-mm.
Kyrie Irving has been a sneaky, underrated defender his whole career. He used to give Steph fits when they played each other in the finals. Kyrie has always been a sneaky-handed defender, and James Harden, when he decides to play, he's not a complete turnstile. When he decides to play defense, so they in stretches and different, they can trade defensive possessions with a team, but they are the only team in the NBA that can name their score right now. So if they want to just say, "Hey, we turn it into a track meet," and they have the coach that know how to play 7 seconds or less. If they decide to say, "Hey, we're going to push the pace the whole game," it really won't matter. So they can literally run the Sixers out of the gym. The Sixers don't have the same problem with the Bucks. They have a bench, but they don't have a bench. So it would almost be more advantageous to let the young Gunners play in the Eastern Conference Championship. That gives Trey a little taste of deep playoff run against that young Hawks team. And I actually like how they built their team. At the beginning of the year, you kind of looked at the Hawks at the Hawks like, I don't know, but they actually built a complete basketball team. I like the way Collins is playing. I like the way Bogdanovich is rolling right now. And man, they're getting there. They're starting to get healthy. This could actually be a pretty good match. I could see them being too young to be stupid, to be scared of the Nets, and sneak out a game. You know what I'm saying? And have a close game six, still losing five, but I think it would almost be more advantageous to let the young gunners go because I just don't think that the Sixers can score with the Nets. I don't think they have enough scoring.
So I think we both agree because I said before the playoffs started, I had the Clippers going to the NBA Finals. I still got them going to the NBA Finals. I know we both got Brooklyn going to the NBA Finals, of course. Who you got coming out the West? Who you think the best matchup for the Brooklyn Nets? Who you think the best matchup will be against them? Will it be the Clippers? You just said Utah the fourth best team, so I know it's not Utah. Will it be the Suns? Will it be the Nuggets? Who you think the best matchup for the Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals?
Well, the best team for the Brook, they're in Cancun right now. LeBron and AD drinking the drinks. They consoling each other, hitting a little doty, but that's neither here nor there. Utah, like I said, wouldn't be much of a matchup. Uh, the Nuggets, don't have don't have the defense, don't have the personnel. Let me say it like that. The Suns, they have a legit scoring threat. They have a point guard that can understand the moments to slow the pace down. They have a true big man presence. Won't matter. The Clippers, they have a defender that can rotate between Durant, Harden, Kyrie. They have another legit 20-point scorer. Don't matter. I'm saying whoever comes out of the West to play the Nets, if they win a game, they'll be lucky. Bro, I actually watched there's a YouTube channel, NBA Fast Forward, where you can watch the game without commercial interruptions, and you just watch possession for possession. Hey, bro, the Nets are dangerous, and they don't even have their second best player.
So you don't see the Clippers winning 2 or 3?
The only way I see the Clippers getting two, you got to have that Kawhi 45 and 10 game, shooting 62%. Paul George knocks down 5 threes. Reggie Jackson has another 18-point game. You see all the things you got to have just to make it competitive. Because just think about game one. Durant goes for 30. Kyrie goes for 30. James Harden goes for 20 something. They combine for 90 points. Those three guys can go for 90 points. You don't even have to. You can ask your bench to literally give me 15 points combined, and we all right. I've never seen anything like that in NBA history. I'm sorry. I that Durant, uh, Curry, uh, Clay was a thing of beauty, but this right here is just scary. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And then, like
Yeah,
I
I
said, you got Blake playing the glue guy role. Blake is Draymond Green times two when he's right.
Yeah, and when y'all was talking about those big threes earlier, y'all was into it, so I didn't really give my opinion. I was letting y'all do y'all thing. But I think as far as offensive wise, this might be the greatest big three ever because Harden is an MVP.
Yep.
Durant is an MVP.
Yeah.
Kyrie could be MVP one. He got the talent to be MVP. Like with Clay Thompson never gonna be finish in the
10.
top 8, top 10 MVP. He never, he never will. So Clay, he was really good at playing his role. Catch and shoot, defend. Uh, Durant, like I said, I'm gonna say this all the time. Durant, the only player in NBA history, he could beat a system or you could put him in any coaching system. That's why I got him as the greatest scorer. And Curry is Curry. He spread the flow. Curry is a very underrated passer as well.
Hell yeah.
So, but this big three, like I just told you, Harden is a top 5 player. Harden is a better version of Luka, and we just seen what Luka did to the Clippers. Took him to 7.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't. This offensive wise, my favorite big three of all time is the 96, 98 Bulls, 96 through 98 Bulls. Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman. Like I think that's the best big three ever. Because the fact is that they just knew what they had. They knew their role. Like Rodman, he didn't even talk to Jordan and Pippen like that. Like they wasn't even friends like that. They just
right.
It was just business. It was just all business. I think that's my favorite big three of all time. But as far as talent wise, this is the best big three that we ever seen. Probably that we ever gonna see.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with you on that. You have 3 top 15 players, legit top 15 players, because Kyrie is a top 15 basketball player, top 12 if you want to really get down to it. Harden is a top 10 basketball player, and Kevin Durant is the best basketball player in the league. So I mean, like I said, the bench. Like you got to think about it. DeAndre Jordan didn't even play. He never took his warm up off. And that's rim protection and that he's good for 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, and about 6 lobs a game. Well, I think 6 points off lobs a game.
Hey, I said at the beginning of the Nets and Bucks series, I said DeAndre Jordan was gonna have to play because of the same reason why
too.
I said they was gonna have to. I said the Nets wasn't gonna be able to come in and start Blake Griffin at the 5. Blake Griffin had us all fooled, bro. Like he really wanted to get out of Detroit, bro, because he's definitely not playing. He's playing better right now than that last season in Detroit. Like he's playing better as a glue guy.
Think about this: you making $30 million in Detroit, Michigan, a city that just went bankrupt, and now you got a chance to make peanuts, but I already got $100 million in the bank. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. You feel me? I'm playing with Durant, Harden, Kyrie. I'm not asked to shoulder the load. I just got to play basketball, and I'm in New York City as a multimillionaire. He looks happy. he looks like he's no longer on suicide watch. Blake used to be mean and scowl at people. He's smiling now. He bouncing around. Hey, bro, that's just the difference it makes. Your situation dictates your production a lot of the time, especially when we talk about pro athletes, man. It is what it is, and that's why they say a change of scenery is sometimes the thing that changes somebody's whole career. Just getting out of a bad situation.
Hey, the finals I would like to see though. I would like to see Chris Paul and Blake Griffin in the NBA finals playing against each other. They didn't end their relationship didn't end the best.
Right,
but seeing them in seeing them in the finals and seeing Doc Rivers watching them in the finals, that just makes me smile because the Clippers with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, JJ Redick, they really underachieved.
That's why I say Doc is overrated as a coach, man. He had that group for 6-7 years, bro.
I thought you was gonna bring that up. I was waiting for you to bring that up.
I was just being cool about it, just letting him go off. But if you want to go back to when he was the coach for Orlando, he's still the only coach to give up a 3-0 lead with T-Mac to the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, I remember T-Mac saying, "Yeah, I never been in a second round before."
It feels good to go to the second round now, and they proceeded to lose 4 straight. Doc never did it for me.
He blew that 3-1 lead in Orlando. He blew it against the Clippers. And I
Yes,
remember that, I mean against the Rockets.
against the
When
Rockets.
he had I remember that series like yesterday. Like I was watching, I was like, oh, CP3, he about to go to the finals, CP3 about to do his thing. Well, it was the second round, but I'm thinking if the Clippers would have beat the Rockets, I think they would have beat Golden State in the Western Conference Finals because Golden State wasn't Golden State yet.
It wasn't there yet. You're right. You're right.
They wasn't Golden State yet. That was their first team. That was their first year putting together. They just beat the Pelicans in the playoffs. I went to Game 3, 20-point comeback in the fourth quarter. I never seen a crowd so quiet in my life. Never. When Steph Curry hit that three, I never been in a stadium arena where it got so quiet so fast. When Steph Curry hit that corner three. They lucky the referees didn't call a foul because that would have been a 4-point play. That game wouldn't have went to overtime.
That close out by Anthony Davis, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, I think the Clippers would have beat the Warriors. But yeah, I remember Game 6. Houston came back against the Clippers with Harden on the bench.
On the bench,
Dwight Howard was injured; he wasn't even playing. Like
it was Josh Smith. I'm trying to think who was the other scorer. Wesley Matthews. Was it Wesley Matthews on that team?
I know Pat Beverly.
Yeah.
Eric Gordon.
Yeah. That was a list of misfits.
Yeah,
and you had CP3, who was a top 3-point guard in the league. You had Blake Griffin, because that was I think that was the year Blake Griffin finished third in the MVP voting, and you had DeAndre Jordan as your big three. You had dribbles coming off the bench. You had JJ Redick. You had the complete package, and you still couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I did. So Doc Rivers blew that 3-1 lead, and then we seen last year. He blew the 3-1 lead against the Jazz. I mean, not the Jazz, the Nuggets. Which people had the Clippers winning that series 4-1. Like the Nuggets had no business winning that series. They had no business playing the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Like,
right. I agree.
So yeah, I thought
all this happens on the Doc Rivers watch. And
I thought you was about to bring up all those points.
I would just let them go, man, because I was like, man, y'all seriously gonna sit up here and tell me Doc Rivers is a good coach? You see, I was more shocked at that part that people still actually believe that. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think he's the worst coach ever, but he's not no elite top tier coach. Don't get me wrong. He was Danny Ainge won that championship with KG still at the tail end of his prime. Paul Pierce at the tail end of his prime, and you had one of the greatest shooters of all time. And you had a young Rondo who, at that point, he was still one of the best facilitators, one of the best minds in basketball at the time. So, yeah, that came together. Good job. You won. And you still only won out of them 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know injuries played a part in that, so I'm not going to put totally on that. But he has underachieved through the entirety of his career. And that's why I just kept taking home the point that the 76 have been a top 4 seed the last 3 years. At the bare minimum, even though Brett Brown was the coach, and Brett Brown wasn't a good coach himself. But if they've been a top 3 seed the last 3 or 4 years, and you come in and get a top 3 or 4 seed, what does that say? That's not an accomplishment. You just falling in line with the talent that has already been placed on that team. That ain't show me shit.
So yeah, he didn't do what Tom Thibodeau did. Like
right.
He didn't do what Monty Williams did.
Exactly. He has never done that. He has never done that in his career. So, and I think those would have been better hires for Philly than he would have been.
Yeah, Danny Ainge. Well, Doc Rivers hit the jackpot because of what Danny Ainge was able to do with robbing those teams in those trades.
Exactly. Armed robbery. I'm talking about pistol in the back. Like, don't turn around, don't look at me. I'm running these pockets.
Exactly. Yeah. Like Doc Rivers, I honestly think if he should have just stuck around in Boston. CA3 Sports Talk says salute. Thank you, my dog. CA3 Sports Talk. I'm gonna have to check out your podcast. Do you know who that is? I don't think I know who that is.
No, I don't know
Sid.
them.
Yeah,
I ain't know.
but yeah, Danny Ainge, he did what Jerry Krause said he did. Just Jerry Krause said the organization wins championships. Well, Danny Ainge, the organization definitely won that championship.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
What else? Oh yeah, this one I want to talk about Mayweather, U3.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I be going on U3 all the time. Yeah, I love U3 sports talk. I was just telling coach about that. Yeah, them boys was on till like 1 a.m. last night. I be hopping on, when I can, but I work from home. So on my breaks and stuff, I usually get on, chat it up, or get in the chat box, talk to them. But yeah, I love that podcast, bro. I really love it. Really love it. But what I was about to say, yeah, Money Mayweather. I seen a clip. Now I didn't actually watch the fight. Did you watch the fight with him
I
and
wasn't
Logan
wasting
Paul?
my time with that shit, man.
But yeah, I seen a clip where he punched Logan Paul. Logan Paul, whatever his name is. It looked like he was about to fall down, but
And
Mayweather
Mayweather
held him
held them up.
up.
Yeah, I saw that shit too. Hey
but,
man.
but yeah, I say Money Mayweather. He's at the part of his career. He's seen that Tyson and Roy Jones fight. That
Hmm.
he's seen how you could make money. You could still make money. Not affect his legacy, but you could still make money. You could still entertain, and that's what it's all about, bro. Like he already proved what he had to prove as far as a boxer. I
Correct.
mean, point of boxing, hit, don't get hit. I mean, I don't care. If you got to 49, 50 wins like that, hit, don't get hit. People say he run, blah blah blah. I don't want to hear all that. Floyd Money Mayweather, the smartest boxer ever in lifetime. Because he's 44, 43 years old, still got all his health, and he's still able to do this. But yeah, I don't blame him at all for going the distance with Logan Paul. I think he did. I think honestly, I think that he could have knocked that man out second, third round. I
He could have
think.
knocked him out in the first round.
Well,
Let, let,
Logan
let's let's
Paul. I didn't. The reason I didn't say the first round because I seen Logan Paul came out swinging all crazy, and Mayweather was just trying to let him swing and just tire him out. If you seen
but
that clip,
but no, that's what I'm saying. He's swinging all crazy. We're talking about the most, not just a professional boxer. We're talking about the most accurate puncher of our generation. If he wanted to just slip one of them and hit him right on top that chin, he'd have went night night. Think about it. That was a counter punch, a little jab that Mayweather hit him, and he just fell on Mayweather. Mayweather held him up like, "Come on, man, we still got more to go, bro. Let's get back to the show." Like that's the whole thing. I tell people talking about, oh, he broke. Do you realize that he made $30 million before the bell even rung? He was given a 10 million guaranteed purse, and he was given 50% of the gate and of the pay-per-view. There were 30,000 people in attendance. So just off of simple math, if everybody paid $1,000 for their ticket, that's $30 million. That's another 15 in cash that he made right there. And we're talking about another 300,000 pay-per-view buys at 700. I mean, between 69 and $75 a buy. You're talking about another 15 to $20 million. So he made roughly about $45 million for 32 minutes of work.
well,
That
look, I work for Spectrum. I work for Charter Spectrum. I work from home doing that, and
right.
I was taking calls for people who was ordering the fight
Gotcha.
in the sixth and seventh round. They had people calling to still buy the pay per view.
See what I'm
so,
saying?
for what people don't understand, what Floyd Mayweather did by making the fight go long, the same thing he did with Conor McGregor. Uh, People still be buying the pay per view in the sixth and seventh round. Like,
Yeah.
and like, still, it was still busy. Like, people were still calling, like, buying the pay per view, like to watch two more rounds of boxing.
Gotcha. It is what I'm saying, and
So,
he gets half of all of those proceeds. So again, he's the best boxer of this generation. I don't even think I give Roy Jones his props, but again, we've all seen Roy Jones just lose. We've all seen him go night night. We have never seen this. We have a problem seeing Floyd Mayweather getting hit flush. You know what I'm saying? And the name of the game in boxing is to hit and not get hit. It's not about standing in the middle of the ring trading punches. It's about not getting hit. That's why he has most of his brain cells still intact. But he can do these. I read an article 2 years ago. He fought in a private lounge of this kickboxer from Japan. It
Yeah,
was three.
50 Cent called him the Uber driver.
Yeah, it was 3 5-minute rounds, and he made something like $22 million in Japan doing that. Why would I not make $20 million for 15 minutes of work? Why would I not go make $30 million for 32 minutes of work and I don't even break a sweat?
I
Why would I?
know.
He wants to become a billionaire. I'm not mad at him, man. I'm not mad.
Yeah, shout out to Floyd. Shout out, man. It's just crazy how a lot of people hate on this man, bro. Like,
Hate on
and
him, bro.
and I know Floyd, he come out and he say things and blah blah blah. But in an individual sport, when you don't have to worry about the fallback from coaches or teammates or whatever, in an individual sport, you could do whatever the hell you want to do. You could say whatever the hell you want to say. Like,
Exactly.
like,
Hey,
in,
we're
go
going to
ahead.
do a boxing podcast because I'm not going to call out the person's name. I don't want to do that. But they actually had a nerve to write that, man, the reason why Floyd taking all these fights because he's broke. I read a Wall Street Journal excerpt that Floyd made $600 million from all merchandise, ticket sales, and everything from the Pacquiao fight, and made another 400 million from the Conor McGregor fight. They didn't look at any of the fights throughout his whole career. He made $1 billion off of those two fights combined, and they said even at the highest tax rate in America of 52%, he would still have made 49 $490 million at the highest tax rate in the world. How is this man broke, man?
I mean, first of all, I want to know who said that, but if I'm 44 years old, 40, 44, 43 years old, and I still know how to box, and a YouTube star, a YouTube star wants to get in the ring and box me, and I know I'm gonna potentially make millions of dollars. Why wouldn't I do that? No matter how rich I am, like why wouldn't I do that?
I do it once a week.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Like
man, these
I'm
guys
not
here
I'm not
crack me
understanding.
up.
I'm not understanding.
I
Hey,
know.
can we I want to talk about you don't have a football team, huh? I know you don't have a
I
football
never
team.
had a favorite NFL team, man. When I was young, the Saints used to make me cry, and I didn't feel right rooting for any other team. So I
Well,
just became a
that's why
Cowboy
I'm
fan.
a Packers fan because when I was young, when we just moved to Louisiana, you know, my daddy and mom were Saints fans. But every time they put on the TV, it's like they was getting their ass whooped.
Straight up, straight up.
So most a lot of my family from Mississippi, and you know Brett Favre, you know that's where he from, and you
Gotcha,
know whenever we'll go to Mississippi, you know I see all kind of Brett Favre jerseys, blah blah blah. So I became a Packers fan. I've been a Packers fan since I was 9 years old.
gotcha.
But what I'm seeing right now, like I can't say I blame Aaron Rodgers, bro, because we as a Packer fan, I'm disappointed in the organization because basically we go to the NFC Championship. We go to the NFC Championship. Uh, right after that, we draft Jordan Love. We no, not that we only draft Jordan Love. We move up in the draft to
Yeah,
draft Jordan Love.
yeah.
We move up in the draft. Now, the AJ Dillon, the AJ Dillon draft, we drafted AJ Dillon in the second round. That big running back we got. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking, okay, we draft AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones contract coming up. We don't pay running backs like that. We don't. We never pay running backs. So I'm thinking AJ Dillon is going to replace Aaron Jones as the primary running back. And towards the end of the season and in the playoffs, AJ Dillon was running the ball good, like running hard. Like he was reminding me of Brandon Jacobs. That's who he reminded me of. And then in this offseason, we extend Aaron Jones' contract. I mean, we give him a new contract. Like so, in that previous draft, we drafted Jordan Love and AJ Dillon with our first two picks. For what?
Right.
Like for what? Like because we paid Aaron Jones, and the last time I seen Aaron Jones on the football field, he completely bitched out on us against Tampa Bay.
He shit the bed. He shit the bed.
Yeah, yeah, we was trying to come back. He fumbled the ball, like so. And then he didn't come back in again. I thought that was the end of Aaron Jones in Green Bay, but then we pay him more money. Like I'm not getting why we drafted AJ Dillon if we were planning on extending Aaron Jones anyway.
Right.
Like
I kind of like that. That is probably the most bewildering organization organizational moves I've seen in a long time. And the Packers are historically a good organization. When you talk about the top cream of the crop as far as how organizations are run, you talk about the Steelers, you talk about the Ravens, you talk about the Packers. They're like those guys are never in disarray. They always know exactly what they're doing. They always make good sound decisions. But I just didn't get it. At one point, I thought that this what they was looking for. They was looking for a replacement to Aaron Rodgers. And from all reports, Aaron Rodgers might not be the easiest person to work with, but he has that right. You know, he's earned that he's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in the NFL. He's earned that right to drop his nuts. It is what it is. But I thought that this what they was looking forward to. I honestly thought that when they lost in the playoffs, they was like, all right, this is our chance to get away from Aaron Rodgers. He's won another contract. He's upset. We got Jordan Love ready to go. And then when he asks for a trade, you say no, go sit down. I don't understand the thinking because the move was right in front of them. You know how happy the Dolphins would have traded Tua for Aaron Rodgers and the number 6 overall pick. They would have done that they'd have moved 6, 18, and Tua for Aaron Rodgers without batting an eye. And that's what I really thought that they was gearing up for. They're gonna make a big splash and get some draft capital on top of that. But just to the simple fact that they didn't do that, then they're digging in. I just read a report that Aaron Rodgers not going to minicamp. Well, no shit. He told you he's done here, and you still digging in by releasing a statement last week. We are refusing to trade Aaron Rodgers. I don't see the point in it. I don't see what you get out of it because if Aaron Rodgers stays gone, okay, you get to recoup $9 million in bonus money, and you still have to go with Jordan Love in the first place. So why not just cut him, trade him, get assets for him while you can? Because I don't care what no one says, he's still one of the most valuable commodities in the NFL. The goddamn 49ers are seeing you Trey Lance right now and a number 1 pick. Hell, they might throw in Jimmy Garoppolo. They might do a 2-for-1 for you and get Aaron Rodgers out the deal. You understand? The Saints will trade Gail Benson and the Hornets to Green Bay for Aaron Rodgers right now as we speak. What's going down in Texas? The Green Bay Packers will trade Bob McNair for this motherfucker. But I don't get what they're trying to do. Like they're trying to force his hand on a guy that's made $100 million in his career. If he decides to hang it up, he's gonna hang it up, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't get it.
I'm trying to figure out how to do the link because CA from Sports Talk, CA3 Sports Talk want to join. How the heck I do this link? I'm new to this, bro. Like, let's see. Hold on. Let's see. How the hell I get this link? Let's see. Maybe I'll go to invite. Okay, copy link. Is that the link? Copy. Let's see. Paste. I think that's it. Did I do that right?
I see it in the chat box.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, what I was saying. I think Aaron Rodgers, I think he messed up Green Bay plans by having that MVP season. Reason because even though we made it to the NFC Conference Championship against San Francisco, Aaron Rodgers had a really mediocre season.
Talking about 2 years ago?
Huh? Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah. I agree.
And he had a good season, but it wasn't an Aaron Rodgers season.
Right. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it was like when Brett Favre was going down. He was still good, but he wasn't Brett Favre anymore. Aaron Rodgers it seemed like he wasn't Aaron Rodgers anymore. And then he comes back and have his best season ever. Like 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yeah, that's balling.
To me, when that happens, when they seen that happened, like at the end of the season, that was your time right there to trade Jordan Love. Like, you should have just traded Jordan Love. Because if Aaron Rodgers had a season like that, that means he has at least 3 good seasons left.
Right. Agreed.
Like 3 good seasons. Like with Drew Brees, you seen the downhill spiral Drew Brees was going down.
Right.
Like Aaron Rodgers, like literally just had his best season at the age of 37, and we see Tom Brady still playing good. There we go. What up?
What's going on?
What's going on? We just talking about a little NFL right quick.
I'm a Lions fan, man. We might got a fight now this way.
The Lions, y'all just got who y'all got golf? Oh man, get out of here, man. Get out of here. Man. Why do y'all do that, bro? Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, Matt Stafford. Why y'all don't take care of y'all people, man?
I don't know, man. We just I don't get it, bro.
Well, you have my condolences, my man. Being a Lions fan is hard out here.
It is hard, for real. It's hard.
You just had to watch Calvin Johnson be entered in the Hall of Fame, bro.
Man, you don't gotta remind me, man. Trust me, I know.
I don't know. But yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself, my brother.
So I mean, I'm CA3. You feel me? I'm a Pistons fan. Lions fan. Just as the short sports fan. I'm on U3 a lot. I don't really do too much my own content. I'm busy with school a lot, and it's a lot of work. To have your own channel. So I salute to everybody who has their own channel. It's hard to maintain. And keep being consistent with content. On a channel, it's tough. Regarding the Green Bay situation y'all were talking about, yeah, I mean, I would love to see Aaron Rodgers leave. he been killing my team for years. I don't really like him, because of that, but and that had nothing to do with him as a player because he's a hell of a player, obviously. That's why I want him to leave. I think he has every right to do what he's doing, not just because I want him to leave. It's just because, I don't understand why Green Bay moves like they do when it comes to making decisions in the front office. It makes no sense. You literally get trade up for Jordan Love, and you don't even tell Aaron Rodgers the thing. Like, what do you expect Aaron Rodgers? How do you expect Aaron Rodgers to react when you do something like that? And then, and like you said, why would you draft AJ Dillon when you're originally planning to get rid of Aaron Jones, but you didn't? So I don't get that. Especially what Aaron Jones did in the NFC Championship. I don't understand why you would go away from those plans. But I mean, I understand where Aaron Rodgers is coming from. Yes, of course he's hard to deal with, but still, you have to be a better organization when you're dealing with a player of that caliber. Because he can do whatever he wants to when he's that good. Especially coming off a season like he just came off of, you got to do better. It's kind of unexpected, like you said. Especially even I would say I don't think he really had a great season the year before last year, especially for his standards. But yeah, you definitely after that season you gotta cater to him and settle whatever you guys got going on. And I think Green Bay did a bad job of that. And they should have traded him during the draft so they could get a good stock for him. But now since we know he wants to be gone, you're not going to get the same value you could have got for him if you trade him during the draft.
Man, I agree with you.
And it's another thing about the agents re-signing Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
We lost our all-pro center. We couldn't pay our center, Corey Lindsey. We couldn't pay him.
Fact.
And that pissed Aaron Rodgers off even more because having an all-pro any offensive lineman is a quarterback's dream. We had David Bakhtiari. We still got him, but obviously he was injured during the playoffs. We got him. Having an all-pro center, bringing those. If we would have brought Corey Lindsey back, and I love Aaron Jones. I love what he did for us. But like I said, we never paid running backs. That's just something we never did. It goes back to Eddie Lacy, James Starks, Dorsey Levens. Like we never paid, we never paid none of those guys. So we lost Corey Linsley, and Devontae Adams right now. And a lot of I think this is the main thing. Devontae Adams, he didn't report to those what voluntary workouts. He didn't report to that. Now I think when you got your best receiver not reporting to workouts too, then we really have a problem, man. It's not looking good for us, bro. It's really not looking good for us.
Yeah, I mean, see the problem with the Packers are really messing up right now because the fact that they aren't handling Aaron Rodgers right. You know, you got another star over there in Devontae Adams on the last year of his contract. What's that going to make him want to do when his contract is up? He's probably going to want to go as well.
And Devontae Adams knows that I'm not saying he's not a good receiver because he's a good receiver, but playing with Aaron Rodgers makes him a great receiver.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers literally made him an all-pro receiver because when Devontae Adams first came in the league, he couldn't catch. Like he had problems catching the ball. Like it was funny, like because he would have memes about him and everything. Like Aaron Rodgers actually made him into an all-pro receiver. What's another one? Alan Lazard. I mean, if I could go back, was James Jones. Let me tell you something about James Jones. James Jones led the NFL in receiving touchdowns one year.
Yeah.
Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson.
James Jones was useless anywhere else he went.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was crazy. Like James Jones came out of he was a free agent. This was a couple of years ago. He was a free agent. He came back to Green Bay and became our number one receiver.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with our organization, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man, you're a Detroit fan, so you watching Blake Griffin. You watching Blake Griffin shine too now.
Yeah, it's just depressing, man. It's but, yeah, I'm a loyal fan, man, but of course I got other players I like watching. So you got to have that when you're a fan of these type of teams. But hey, I'm still a fan regardless. But yeah, it's definitely tough, man. Trying to support these teams every year. It's tough.
So are you a Michigan Wolverines football basketball fan as well?
I'm a Michigan State fan. Actually.
Michigan State, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, hey, I wanted to talk about another thing, Coach. I want to talk what's next for the New Orleans Saints, man. Like I know we from Louisiana. We from Louisiana. Just
I could tell.
But yeah, what's going on with the New Orleans Saints? Like, is James Winston going to start? Like, what's?
Hey, you heard what I said?
Prayer.
The best is prayer. See, the thing about building your team for the short term, nobody sees the future, right? Now, I gotta give a big shout out to the mathematical master genius that that Mr. Loomis is. He turned the biggest salary atrocity of being $100 million over the salary cap to being, I think when the draft started, there was like 1.6 million in the good. Like I thought it was over for him. I honestly thought that they were going to start selling sandwiches outside of stadiums to try to offset the goddamn debt that was going on over there. But here's the bright side. I've been saying this for years. I think Sean Payton is a top 3 coach in the NFL. I think he's the best offensive coach in the NFL, hands down. No questions asked. What he does, you talk about how Aaron Rodgers made receivers look good. The system that Drew Brees played in with some of the Robert Meachams, Lance Moores, Devery Hendersons, the Marcus Cole, the who's of guys that never made Pro Bowls, and they had excellent roles in the Saints offense. So you have an offensive genius there. You have a top 5 running back. Whether you like Alvin Kamara or not, whether you call him a receiver, he gets the job done. He is a superstar in his own right. You have one of the best wide receivers in the league. Whether he only runs slants is debatable, but God damn it, you can't stop him from running the slant. Man, he's good at that shit. He has a stable of tight ends that they use to their advantage. And I've always been a Jameis Winston fan. He's very smart. Uh, he doesn't make the best decisions, but again, that's that Brett Favre. You think you can throw when you have a big arm, you think you can get it through every coverage, and through every tight window. He did get his LASIK surgery this year. You always see him squinting on the sideline. He got his LASIK surgery in the offseason. He's going to have a whole nother year into the Saints playbook. They're bringing back a pretty good offensive line. The defense should be better. You know what I'm saying? They should have the health issues corrected. They're gonna a couple of good pieces in free agency. They drafted pretty well. So you're in a division that's trying to bottom out. The Falcons are trying to bottom out. The Panthers are obviously bottoming out when you went and signed Sam Darnold. Uh, you only got the Bucks in your division, so I think that they're not going to be they're not Super Bowl contenders by no stretch of the imagination. But I don't think the drop off is going to be as bad as people think they are. But the days of 13-3s and 14-2s and yeah, that might be gone for a little while. They're gonna be a 10-16 wild card, could make some noise, but the glory days of the Saints, I think that's behind them now.
Well, you said they only got the Bucks. Like,
Yeah, who else is in that division?
no, I'm just saying, like, that's the Bucks. Like, that's probably the only team in that division that make the playoffs this year. Honestly,
That's what I'm saying. But if you can get 2 games against the Falcons and you get 2 games against the Panthers and you can split with the Bucks, man, you got a chance ability of making that wild card with the 17 game slate now. That's 5 that you done taken care of inside your own division. If you can get 4 or 5 wins somewhere else and get you a 10-7, you probably get the wild card. That's all you can add. That's really all you can ask for when you lose an all-time great at quarterback. You got to think about what you're losing. You're losing a historically top 5 all-time quarterback that you're losing. So if you can just fall to 10-7, you know, 9-8, you actually didn't do too bad of a job.
okay. All right, what's your thoughts on the Saints?
Uh, I personally think I don't think they're gonna drop off that much. Like you pretty much said. I think Jameis is gonna excel in that system because, especially in that Sean Payton system, especially with him kind of taking a little redshirt year, that's really he's gonna be even better. Because Sean Payton can make any quarterback look good. And I personally think James Winston's a good quarterback. I just think he's been in just terrible situations, like the bottom of the worst of the worst type of situations for a young quarterback. But I personally think that I think they're going to be a really good team. Still, probably a 10-11 win team, like he said. But I think maybe they could kind of get better at that receiver depth. Like besides Michael Thomas, like who's really your second receiver like that? Like you really got much receiver depth. Of course, you got Alvin Kamara. I don't know if they still have Latavius Murray, but he's solid. That defense is still solid. You still got Cam Jordan. You still got Marcus Lattimore. You lost Trey Hendrickson, but I don't know if the Mario Davis is still there, but you still got a solid defense. So I mean, I think they'll be a 10-11 win team, especially with Sean Payton at the helm. You're bound to be competent.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Sean Payton, like Coach said, Sean Payton probably the best offensive mind ever. Him and Andy Reid in that same category. And I think Jameis Winston, is a top 15, 20 quarterback. I think that's good enough to get you 8, 9, maybe 10 wins. My only thing is, like you said, Jameis Winston, he had the surgery. Was that the thing that was holding him back as a quarterback? Because go ahead.
I think it was more a system fit.
Okay.
Bruce
Yeah, I agree.
Arians is a notorious vertical passing guy. That he likes to go 3 verticals and not many check downs. That's why Tom Brady flourished in it. Man, send my guys deep, let me find them. I got it. Well, in Sean Payton's is more of a horizontal with a vertical threat. So you'll have 2 or 3 intermediate routes. You have a vertical threat, and then you have a running back in the flats. So that it is a quick read offense. I check deep, I check intermediate, I come to my flats. And as a quarterback, you have 3 options, and at the very least, I could throw it to Alvin Kamara and give me 7 yards on the ground. That people don't understand the safety blanket that gives a quarterback. When you're asking a quarterback to throw the ball 30, 35 times a game, and they're all vertical, that you're going to run a risk if you're not a top elite quarterback. You're going to get some balls picked off. It just is what it is. The numbers are against you. But if you that same type of quarterback that's in a system where I know I always have a check down, where if I'm throwing the ball 30 times a game, I know for a fact I can go 7 or 8 that'll be at the line of scrimmage that I can complete, and that'll still keep me, keep my confidence going, and I can still push the ball down the field. That makes the difference. Again, Jameis Winston is not elite quarterback. I'm with you. He's in that 12 to 17 range, or in that Kirk Cousin. I can help you and I can hurt you at the same time. So save me from myself. Yeah, I feel him. He's in that range of quarterback. But again, in a good system where he's gonna have a check down, I think that's gonna actually make a world of difference.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Tampa Bay, do y'all think they should be the favorites coming out of the NFC?
Man, I'm having a hard time seeing who's literally better than them. The NFC East, I wouldn't put my money on nothing coming out of there. The NFC West, until they get a solid running game and more protection for
Seattle.
For Seattle, yeah, until they get more protection, I can't do that. I still think Kyler Murray, I need to see more from him. If they don't protect him, he's not going to last long. The NFC North with Green Bay, with Aaron Rodgers on a hiatus, I mean, I'd go with Justin Fields and the Bears because of the defense. NFC South again, that's them. I mean, I don't really see a true challenger in the NFC. I mean,
What
again,
about
this is
the
football.
Rams? What about the Rams? I think they got significantly better.
I mean, I'll say the Rams. Maybe the problem with the Rams is if anybody gets hurt, they done.
That's why you took the words right out of my mouth. They're gonna be happy just to get through the 17-game season. I don't even know who their starting running back is gonna be.
Cam Akers. Cam Akers is good. He's good.
He's serviceable. I'll say that. Cooper Kupp is coming off a major injury.
Yeah.
The tight end is in a contract year, so that could go either way. The defense is going to be solid, but again, I don't see this just as them as a juggernaut to come back against a Tampa Bay team that literally returned everybody. Most of the times after a Super Bowl, people go chase the bag. They get the ring, and you start seeing that 60% turnover on the roster. Everybody goes and chase a bag. They literally signed every important and key piece, down to Antonio Brown. He even signed back. I don't see it. I mean, all their competition is going to come from competition is going to come from the AFC. The AFC is going to be a whole lot tougher than the NFC, in my opinion. Whole lot tougher.
Speaking of the AFC, Patrick Mahomes. I said last year before the Super Bowl, I said if Patrick Mahomes has any chance of catching Tom Brady up as the GOAT, he has to win that Super Bowl. They lost. Patrick Mahomes, do you think if they meet up with Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl, do you think they have a chance to beat them?
It depends on O-line health. You got to think about it. Kansas City went in there down there, starting left tackle, their starting right tackle, and a backup center. So I mean, they started off with one foot in the dirt.
It's funny that you say that because they went into the game with all that. We knew all that, but most people still picked them to win.
Hey, listen, because that speaks to the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. They thought, and I was one of the people that gave him a chance. I thought, if anybody could overcome these obstacles, it is a possibility it could be Patrick Mahomes if they focus on a quick game. You talking about catching Brady for being the GOAT. Earlier, you said that LeBron has passed Jordan for being the GOAT, and he has 4 to 6. So we're not going on ring count as GOAT, right?
Hold on. It's more than just rings with Brady. Come on, now. It's more than just rings. He got the most. Brady does have the most TD passes in history. He's about to have the most yards in history.
He has, and again, behind Drew Brees, who only has one. He broke Drew Brees' record, who only has one ring. So let's think about it. And I still think Drew Brees is a top 5 guy. So let's not. If we're gonna talk about just records, I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna go down as the greatest quarterback to ever walk God green earth, like point blank. Period. I've said
So
this.
I'm combining. Hey, look, I'm combining the rings with stats, player awards. I'm combining all that. Brady has 3 MVPs.
Patrick Mahomes has one already.
That's what. Yeah, he has one. He has one. I said
he's gonna break that.
Patrick Mahomes has one.
Yeah.
Brady is the league leader in history in touchdown passes.
Okay, I can't predict the future and say he's gonna break that, but barring any health reason, he's gonna catch it. You got to think about it. Patrick Mahomes is 23 years old.
Yeah, I know. Hey, and I said, and with the LeBron and Jordan, my preference on the LeBron over Jordan was longevity. Remember that? Remember I said that?
I totally agree.
So,
but I don't think that he has to break those records for him to go down as the greatest. I honestly don't.
But
I agree.
The thing with LeBron and Jordan, they never played each other.
Right.
The thing with Brady and Mahomes, they played each other.
Well, they didn't.
They played each other. Oh, yeah.
No,
yeah,
Tom Brady played Patrick Mahomes' defense. See, that's the thing about quarterbacks. You can't look at the head-to-head matchup.
That's the you the one who brought up the Tom Brady, the Jordan and LeBron. I'm saying
I'm just going off your earlier argument.
They played in the same game, the same Super Bowl, the same Super Bowl. If Patrick Mahomes would have won that game, I said that would have been a better chance for him to be the GOAT in the future. Okay. But since he lost that game, since that gave him a Super Bowl loss and Tom Brady a Super Bowl win, it's highly unlikely now. Because Tom Brady, not only does he have the rings, like I said, he has 3 MVPs. He has the touchdown record. He will have the yards record because he's going to play another year. He has Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has the quarterback, the touchdown to interception ratio record. But Tom Brady, he's second. He's second right there. He has the QB. He has like over 100 QB rating for his career. Like, it's more than just rings with Tom Brady. He has a lot of things. The rings, that's just a bonus. Because I think Dan Marino is the top 5 quarterback ever. He don't have any rings. He don't have any rings. So
I say Peyton Manning is still the best quarterback of all time, pure quarterback. And he all his records are being broken. So that's why I say it doesn't have to be off the stats. I'm talking about pure as what a quarterback is, the position, the mechanics, the ability. Patrick Mahomes is going to go down as the greatest to ever do.
I agree with you. I
think he's going to win multiple more. He has multiple MVPs he's going to win. He's going to shatter touchdown records. He's the only guy that I think can throw 65 touchdowns in a season. Because of the weapons around him, the arm strength, the caliber, like the guy can make throws that no one can even think about. The guy can look one way and throw the other way. I told you the biggest thing about Patrick Mahomes is a photogenic memory, so it's not much you could trick him on. Again, I just think that he ran into a buzzsaw last year. He ran against a great pass rush with no offensive line. Those two things just don't go together.
So check this out.
I'm with you.
That conversation we had earlier about the NBA greatest. I think when you talk about greatest, you talk about it got a lot to do with accomplishments. Just like I told you, I have Kobe Bryant as the 7th greatest player in the NBA. But what I also told you, I say he's the most skilled player ever. Right. Before Patrick Mahomes, I thought that was Aaron Rodgers when it comes to quarterbacking, as far as skill, being a throw on the run, throw in the pocket, run when he have to. I thought that was Aaron Rodgers until Patrick Mahomes came. So I agree with you in that sense. Patrick Mahomes is probably, as far as being a skilled quarterback, what he could do that most quarterbacks could do, because he could do everything Brady and Peyton Manning could do, but more.
Right.
So, but when I think about greatest, I think about accomplishments. Yeah, I think about accomplishments as well as skill.
So let me ask you this. if in the next 5 years Patrick Mahomes wins 3 more MVPs and adds 3 Super Bowls, that doesn't put him on track for being the GOAT.
Hey, come on, man. You know that's unlikely,
No,
man.
I'm giving you why is that? Why is that? Brady did it in a 5 year span. Brady won 3 Super Bowls. He won
You
2 MVPs. I'm just
talking about
saying.
you talking about one of the greatest organizations ran, like, like,
Hey
and
man, let's not act like the
now,
Chiefs didn't. The Chiefs
and now,
hasn't been an organization since the 50s as well. Now they're not
and
horrible.
now, and now, Tampa. You just said that Tampa Bay, we got all them players coming back and re-signing. Man, them young boys for the Chiefs, man, they about to go. Man, if they get another Super Bowl and there's their contract year, they about to go get that money. That team not gonna stay together long.
But look at it. Patrick Mahomes is in there for 10 years. You got Cheetah that been locked up for 5 years. Travis Kelce still has 3 more years on his deal. You got the Honey Badger said he's a chief till he retires. They just signed the young cornerback. They draft Chad, the big defensive lineman. He signed a 5 year deal. There are key pieces on the play. Remember, football, you can fluctuate. You can get guys. Every year you get new pieces and you can get free agent. And you're gonna have some guy that's gonna be here in Dominican suit. I'm here to get a ring. I'm gonna sign a 1 year deal just to get a ring. But I'm just saying it's a hypothetical. But I'm just saying something that happened to Brady in a 5 year span. The Patriots won 3 Super Bowls.
And how
Brady
many
won 2
dynasties? How many
MVPs.
dynasties have they have since the Patriots? How many team dynasties has they had since the Patriots?
But no, I'm not talking about dynasties. I'm just giving you a hypothetical. I don't want to hear
No, but
your thoughts on it.
three Super Bowls in 3 years is a dynasty, though. That's what I'm saying.
Well, if you think about it, the Colts only got. I mean, the Chiefs only got to play in 1 more Super Bowl to have played in 3 Super Bowls in 3 years. So if they
the Bill, okay, we're looking at dynasties different because
no, a dynasty is a dynasty. Well, the Bills was a dynasty. The even though they never won a Super Bowl, they were a dynasty.
okay,
They went
let me change my question. How many winning dynasties has they have since the Patriots, since the earlier Patriots in 2000? None. It's likely in football. It's not likely in football like it is in basketball.
But what is it predicated on? It's predicated on a generational talent and a top tier coach. That's what it's predicated on. That's what your dynasties hinge on. Generational talent and a top tier coach. Andy Reid is a top tier coach.
Sean Payton was a top 10 coach. Drew Brees was a generational talent. Like
and think about this. It took a Minnesota miracle to keep him out of a Super Bowl. And the worst
that was some lucky stuff, boy.
and the worst non-pass interference call in NFL history to keep them out of 2 Super Bowls. Think about that.
Okay. So
not saying it can't happen.
I give you. Well, I got an argument for that non-pass interference call because they shouldn't have been in that situation in the first place, throwing the ball on first down. But I'll give you that one. So I'm gonna give you that one. But the game against Minnesota, that was in the second round. That wasn't in the conference. They still had to go to Philly and win. So I'm not going.
Really.
I'm not gonna say.
Really, Philly was going
that year.
But no, what I'm saying is, but Philly wouldn't have beat the Saints.
That's hypothetical.
You're right. You know what? I totally agree with you. That you can't say
Philly won the Super Bowl. I mean,
yeah, you're right. Nothing else to say.
Nick Foles was that guy.
Look, nothing else to say. We can't deal with ifs and what couldas. I just think that those 2 years the Saints would have won Super Bowls. Because again, you talking about the Super Bowl where the Patriots won 10-7. Man, there's no way you score 10 points and beat the Saints.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That was against the Rams.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I gave you the Rams. I gave you that. Remember?
You don't beat that.
But the Saints didn't have the defense the Rams had, though.
I give you that. True. But I just look at Patrick Mahomes. Again, there are a bad pass interference, offsides call against the Patriots for playing in 3 consecutive Super Bowls already. So I think this is going to be a fixture for the Chiefs for the next couple of years. So I think if Patrick Mahomes gets back to the Super Bowl, and I'm saying in a 5-year span, he gets to the Super Bowl 2 more times and he wins those 2 and gets 2 more MVPs, that'll give him 3 Super Bowl rings and 2 MVPs in his first 8 years.
Hey, let me let me talk to you about Andy Reid. I'm gonna go to you on, first on this one. CA,
Uh,
what's your name, my dog?
you can call me CA3,
CA3. All right,
Carl, whatever. It don't
I'm gonna
matter.
call
His
you CA.
name must be Cassius.
My name is Carl. So
I'm just messing
that's
with you, big brother. I'm just
All right,
messing
yeah,
all
with
right, Carl. Well, I'm gonna go to you on this. I'm gonna go to you with this question. All right, Andy Reid.
yeah,
I had this. I think me and you talked about this before, Coach. But Andy Reid.
yeah.
Uh, as far as I can remember, he had Donovan McNabb,
Mm,
Kevin Cobb, Mike Vick,
yeah.
Alex Smith,
Mm-hmm.
and now Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
He got the best out of Donovan McNabb,
Yep.
Kevin Cobb,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Vick, and Alex
Mm-hmm.
Smith.
Yep.
So if Pat Mahomes would have had another coach, I'm not saying he wouldn't have been good. I'm not saying he would have been great because right now he's super great to me. Pat Mahomes, he's super great.
Mhm.
But is the reason why he's super great is because of he got a coach like Andy Reid. Because Andy Reid proved like Mike Vick, as great as Mike Vick was in Atlanta, he was the best passer in Philadelphia.
By far.
Kevin Cobb was trash. Kevin Cobb looked good under Andy Reid. Alex Smith, a straight quarterback. I'm not gonna call Alex Smith trash. I'm not gonna call him that. He was straight,
He's all right.
but he was good.
Check down Charlie.
He was good under
He,
Andy
he,
Reid.
he led the league in QBR 1 year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, do y'all think that Patrick Mahomes is super great because of Andy Reid? I'm gonna start with you first, Carl.
I mean, I think it's a mixture of both person. I mean, of course, every quarterback, his success is predicated off of, what situation he was drafted in. Patrick Mahomes, he was put in the perfect situation. He didn't have to start right away. He had a veteran quarterback, Alex Smith. He could learn behind for a year, and he just came in and he was able to flourish. He had an upcoming Tyreek Hill, and then he had already solidified tight end and Travis Kelsey, and then and then you have Andy Reid, of course. So with a guy with that type of skill set, it just makes you even better. Tom Brady wouldn't be Tom Brady if he wouldn't drafted by the Patriots. So it's just every quarterback. That's it's really based on situation here a lot of times. But I don't think. If you put Patrick Mahomes in any situation, of course he's going to show off his talent. I don't care what situation you put in a person with talent like that, he's going to flourish anywhere. But to probably flourish. To probably be as successful as he's been so far, it's probably helped that he's been put in the great situation that he's in right now.
Hey, and the reason I use Donovan McNabb because even though Donovan McNabb was a little past his prime after Andy Reid, he looked like a shell of himself. Like he went from like here to here when he went to Washington and Minnesota. Like so that leads me to believe that Andy Reid helped Donovan McNabb out a lot. What you think, Coach?
Man, if you'd have put Patrick Mahomes on the Jaguars, that winless Jaguars, you'd have saw flashes, you'd have saw the big arm, you'd have saw a lot of what you see today. But it's just those finer points that where coaching comes in. Like you say, Donald McNabb, Mike Vick, all those guys were at their very best under Andy Reid, man. Again, just the be learning how to be a quarterback at the NFL level is a job in itself. Again, you feel that you can fit every throw into every window. You feel that it doesn't matter the coverage, but sometimes a quarterback not making a throw is actually a better decision than actually throwing it up. Little things like that is what I think the unseen things is what makes Patrick Mahomes so much better than he is. Uh, a lot of quarterbacks don't get that too late. A lot of guys come in. Jamarcus Russell came in with big arm, big talent, and everything, but who's to say if he goes to Andy Reid, does that make him turn out to be a better player? The world will never know. But I think that being with Andy Reid, he learns more of what not to do than the ability. Let me say it like that. I think it's more of the things that we can't see that you actually have to be in the quarterback room that actually make the difference. Again, I agree with CA. You would see the flashes, you would see the talent because the talent he has is totally undeniable. But I think it's the little coaching points is what you don't see is what adds to his greatness.
Facts.
Gotcha. Yeah, bro. We're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. About to go to work in the next couple, but CA, Carl, thank you for coming on, bro. I really appreciate it. How we do the streams. I do it once a week during the week. Like I'm gonna start doing at 12 noon my time. I don't know what time 12 noon is. It's 2:54 where we at right now. What time it is where you at?
It's 3:54. So you in Central? You in Louisiana?
I'm in Central. So 1 o'clock your time, 12 o'clock my time. I do it at least once a week. But during Friday, during the weekend, I include Friday as a weekend. During Friday and Saturday, we like to do it as well, but more towards the evening time. But during the week, we like to. I'm gonna start doing during the lunchtime. But yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming on, Coach. Thank you for coming on, y'all fellas. Y'all have y'all blessed one.
All right, peace. Salute, man.